See what that say? Three-peat. Yeah, what's up, everybody? Episode 290. And guess what? The three-peat journey begins today. UGA begins another season. The NFL preview is coming at you again. Exactly. And we got more topics to talk about, so we're not going to even waste any more time. Episode 290 starts right now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Red and Coach, at least I know, are coming to you live from the ATL show. Giving you real sports talk because we are real sports fans who are real sports athletes who have what? Everybody.
Real
sports knowledge. So hang out with Red, Rev Coach, and Armani for episode 290 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. As is our custom, we'll turn our numbers attention to our residential numerologist on the panel, Coach Patrick Thomas, to give us something or someone that deals with these three numbers, 2, 9, and that donut. What you got for us, Coach?
I see Rev is into the donuts today because he's found a good donut shop. Good morning, everybody. 290, we won't waste any time. He was considered one of the greatest, not the greatest, but one of the best defensive players of his time. And he was a two-sport player. He played basketball and football for the University of North Carolina, the GOAT Tar Heels. And he played pro ball, football, not basketball, for the Carolina Panthers. He wore number 90, two-sport All-American player, Julius Peppers. Julius Peppers is 90.
Dope, Coach. That was dope. That's a good one, man. That wasn't a no-brainer right there, but I love the work that you put in. You did somehow squeeze in one of your favorite teams. I got it. But at least it was legit. I mean, we know North Carolina's your team. Julian basketball team, that is. And we'll talk a little bit about your football team in a minute. But nevertheless,
Rev, what color is the sky outside?
It's blue.
Carolina blue.
Carolina blue, that it is. That's dope. Julius Peppers, man. We have to give you props on that one. All right, gentlemen, how you all doing?
Cool.
We all right. We all right. I'm getting ready to get off vacation so I can go back and do priestly duties in PA. So after the show, I'm heading right back to PA. But it's good to be with you guys on today. And as Coach alluded to earlier, I found me a real nice donut place that ranks up there beyond, in my opinion, Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, and Coach's Shipley's in the South. If you're in the Northeast, if you see a Duck Donuts, give them a holler, boy. They got some real good donuts. But y'all didn't come to hear me talk about donuts today. We came to have some real sports talk because, as Red alluded to, we got a lot to talk about. Let me move forward. Let's welcome Revenite Nation. I do believe we have some representation that's here from Revenite Nation. The president said it's time to slam the gavel. Mr. President, your VP has been out of order a few days, so you might have to start learning how to slam it yourself. But anyway, good morning to you, Brother President. Brother Tony, glad to have you, man. Good morning to you. And President said, I'm coming to you live from the Star Trek Redneck Games from Enterprise, Alabama. I want to be far from that place right about now. The barehanded triple toss is something to behold. All right, Brother Tony said he loves your pick, Coach. He loves Julius Peppers, one of his favorite defensive ends. He is the one who chases Michael Vick down 80 yards. Who can do that? Not too many people, but Julius Peppers. So thank you so much for the two that have chimed in. Hopefully other people from Revenite Nation will join us as the time goes on. And as we ask you, feel free to hit the share button. Let somebody know what you are watching today so that Revenite Nation can expand. Let's move on, gentlemen. Let's get this party going. And what's going on to you, Brother Donay? Glad to have you so much. Glad to have you, sir. All right, let's roll on, man. And let's get right into it. You all know how we do it. When we start the show, we jump right into dope, nope, and cope. So we'll go around the horn. We'll start with Red. We'll give you the chance to start off, man. What are you doping on, sir?
I'm doping on Undisputed being back. I hate Perk Tate. I hate Stephen A. Smith and all those little cornballs he have on the show. It was good. There's some good football talk this week with the guys on Undisputed. So Undisputed return is my dope moment for the week.
Red is doping on Undisputed. We'll talk more about that during the show. Armani, what are you doping on, sir?
I am doping on one Natalia Bryant for throwing out the first ceremonial pitch for the game yesterday. You know, great job. You know, your father was an NBA icon, and it's good that the Dodgers, did that to honor him, and just good stuff all around. You, Vanessa, and the girls were out there, so great stuff.
All right, the Dodgers let Lil Bryant, oldest daughter, throw out the first pitch. Wonderful gesture. Coach, what are you doping on, sir?
My dope moment goes to the Olympic basketball and for the team of South Sudan, who has a team filled with refugees and children of refugees, and they captured their first Olympic berth. They qualified for the nation's first Olympic berth in basketball. So I'll give them props. They did something that hadn't been done for the country. So my dope moment goes to the South Sudan basketball team.
The South Sudan basketball team. All right. I have a double dope with the same situation. First, I'm doping on the fact that Ronald Acuna Jr. became the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit 30 home runs and steal 60 bases in one season. And then I got a dope on the Dodgers, in particular, Freddie Freeman, presenting him with the base that he stole to make his, or the home run rather, a base from the home run that he hit to break the record of 30 homers and 60 stolen bases in a given season. That's dope on Ronald Acuna Jr. reaching that feat, but also the Dodgers giving him a base to allow him to celebrate that special moment in Major League Baseball history. So dope, Ronald Acuna Jr., dope, Freddie Freeman, and the Los Angeles Dodgers. All right, Armani, we're going to you, man. What are you noping on?
I am noping on one, the Kansas City Chiefs. You have Patrick Mahomes and also your boy that's on the D-line, Chris Jones, who still haven't had a contract extension yet. I know they're in talks. He's holding out. Look, Kansas City, he's one of your better players on the team. If he's not the second most important player, he's probably the third. Let's go ahead. Let's get him signed, man. Don't keep that man waiting. Give him his money so y'all can shore up the D-line because you're going to need it for this season. Let's go.
Now you talking like you did not root for the Broncos last year.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
you talking like you weren't riding with the Broncos last year.
It don't matter.
About let's ride. Let's ride. Look at my boy done converted him on the slide. You see that, coach? He was trying to tell me last year that Russell Wilson was going to surpass Patrick Mahomes, and now he's talking about let's ride. Let's ride. All right, man. I'll give you an invitation to Chief Nation soon. All right. All right, coach. Jump in there, man. Have you converted to the Chiefs?
Well, the Chefs maybe, not the Chiefs. Now, my note moment goes to Mr. Andre Drummond, who self-proclaimed himself the greatest rebounder of all time. Andre, I heard of a guy that used to play back in the day that pretty much was rebounding everything and say several guys, Charles Barkley, Wilt Chamberlain, Dennis Rodman. You did well as a rebounder, but to call yourself the greatest over them, may need to rethink that a little bit, partner. The self-proclamation is not working. Nobody's buying it. Everybody's looking at you like, okay. So Andre Drummond, you get my note moment.
Andre Drummond. Now, coach, you might want to log off right here. You're not gonna like my note moment right here, so you might want to log off.
Okay, I'm holding on.
Uh-oh.
My note moment goes to the USC Trojans.
I knew it.
Being fashioned to be a contender this year. Contender for who? For what? Giving up 28 points to that juggernaut called San Jose State, and we're supposed to take them seriously as a title contender? You got to be kidding. Just like Georgia Tech fooled me for a quarter, a half yesterday, USC has fooled me to believe that they are a serious championship contender. Coach, we will not allow you to spew that mess all season long. Just hope that they can win the Pac 12 for the very last time in Pac 12 history. All right?
Hey, Rev, can I ask a question?
I mean, Rev, they did beat them 56-28.
San Jose State is picked to win the tough, and I'm going to put tough into it, Mountain West this year. They're predicted to win the Mountain West. Their quarterback is an all Mountain West contender. So he's predicted to be tough. And then again, watch this now, and then I'm going to laugh as I say this. Do you really need to play good defense against San Jose State? Do you need to show everything? He rotated about 10 different lineups in there trying to find one. So these experimental games with San Jose, Nevada, till you find that right mix, and then you keep it on the field. So I'm not worried. I remember the name Zachariah Branch. That's all I got to say.
We gave you extended time to make excuses.
Yeah, Rev, are you ready for me?
Yeah, I'm ready for you.
Okay, thanks. My note moment goes to Doug Peterson this week. Doug, I know you gotta put a winning team out on the field, but dude, cutting your own son. Who are you, 50 Cent from Power? I mean, come on now, keep it in the family, Doug. Your own son. I mean, good Lord, you could have created a special team position for him just to have him be man number 53 at the end of the bench. But your own son, his hopes and dreams killed by his own father. Father of the year, Doug. Happy Father's Day.
Well, we saw nepotism work in reverse this past week.
All the things you would ever thought a man cutting his own son.
Yeah, boy. I hope he and his wife are in a good place.
I mean, it's the guy who's telling his dad about his hopes and dreams. Dad, I hope to be a professional football player one day. Get to the point. Doug, I mean, even if you cut him late in the season, just give him that satisfaction to say, Mom, I made the 53-man roster. Doug.
Well,
yeah, you're right, Rip. I hope him and his wife in a good place.
Hopefully, at least he'll have his son on the practice squad, if anything.
Thanksgiving and Christmas gonna be real awkward. I'm just saying.
For sure.
Holiday season coming up.
Yeah, man. All right, Coach, what are you coping on?
I'm coping for the Las Vegas Aces. Everybody pumped you up. They talked about your great record, which is legit. You all are the team to beat, but you look at the New York Liberty they have something to say about that. And y'all are not doing too well against them, so you're going to have to cope with playing them possibly in the championship game and taking that 30-win season that everybody bragged about as such a great honor and watching it all fall apart with the New York Liberty coming up and busting you up like every other game. So Las Vegas coping with the New York Liberty.
All right. I'm coping for Shohei Ohtani, having to play out the dumpster fire called the Los Angeles or California or wherever they are, Anaheim Angels, whatever they are. I mean, this is sad that they put almost doggone half the roster on waivers, basically sharing that they are not even trying to compete when they could have gotten rid of Shohei right before the trade deadline. They letting this man sit for another month in this dumpster fire. So they have all but guaranteed that he's not coming back next year because they are nowhere near competing for a World Series championship. And I think Shohei wants his talent to be shown on prime time like it was when they had, what's that cup that they had, the Baseball World Championship? Baseball right prior to the season when he led his team, Japan, to the championship. So I'm sorry for you, Shohei Otani, that the good Americans in Anaheim, California, have not shown you much baseball love to showcase your talent.
It's
So, all right, Red, what are you coping on, man?
Well, I was coping on the same thing you coped on, but now I'm stuck because man, I don't have a backup. uh, I guess no coach for me this week, fellas. I guess I have to make it up in other topics.
Well, go ahead and think of something.
I'm fucking with that siren. Who was that?
I'm
Oh,
outside.
oh yeah. Uh, I guess I'm coping with the UGA. Man, I can't make nothing up on the fly. I honestly can't think of nothing right now. Man, I ain't never
Uh,
had this happen to
uh,
me before.
Now,
Rev, Doug
yeah,
Peterson, Doug Peterson's son has been signed to the practice squad.
good, good. That's the least. That's the
Oh,
least he could do. That's the least he could do. All right, let's see what Reverend Knight Nation talking about real quickly. Um, as we look at their dope notes and quotes, we love their participation in our show. All right, let me go ahead on. Let's see. We got Brother Tony who said we're going to have a great season, Falcons. I'm looking forward to the season.
shut
Coco
up, Tony.
Golf, doping off Coco Golf is going off. Hopefully, she can go off into the championship of the US Open. And the president also said, "Nope, Tampa Bay Bucks, please pay Mike Evans." That's going to be interesting. He gave them a deadline recently, his
mm-hmm.
agent, and we'll
Yep.
see if they will meet that deadline. And he's in an interesting situation because he's kind of like not at the peak of his career, but he's not at the end of his career. He's like kind of in the middle, and I think he wants big time wide receiver money. So that's going to be real interesting to see how it
Mm.
happens. And Brother Keith said the Angels knew they was about to lose Otani. That's why they were quick to put it out that his arm is damaged to give them a better chance of resigning. That's a good take. That is a good take. We'll see if that ploy will work for their future with Otani. But nevertheless, thank you, Reverend Knight Nation, the few of you all who have joined us today. I guess everybody's barbecuing or today preparing for Labor Day. But nevertheless, let's jump right into it. It's no secret what happened this past week. Ronald Acuna Jr. was, I can't really say attacked, but approached by a fan in Colorado who wanted to take a selfie. Then there was another fan who came out, and finally security restrained these persons and they went on to jail. So obviously that shows that there's a breach in security, at least in Colorado, uh, not protecting the players. So, Red, we'll give you a chance to redeem yourself right here. We know you were very adamant about showing your disdain about what happened on your Facebook post. So, what says you about this topic?
It was just not a good look. It wasn't a good look for Colorado Rocket security. You can't have players storming the field, and if they do happen to get on the field, you got to have immediate security action, and that was not immediate security action. I mean, the fact that you had one player get close enough to hug them, then another player got so close that he literally kind of assaulted them, pushed them on the field. So, I mean, had that player had a weapon of anything, and we don't know who could sneak one in the stadium or on the field. That's why you have security, and that's why the security is supposed to have immediate reaction once they see fans on the field. Because if the fans have anything or have bad intentions, something serious can really happen. Now, thankfully, nothing serious did happen, but for the safety of a player like Ronald Acuna and the safety of all the Major League Baseball players, uh, that's just unacceptable from the Colorado Rocket security. And really, uh, jobs need to be lost right there, because if that happened again, if that happened and somebody had got hurt, it would have been a way different situation. So personally, I replaced the security from the Colorado Rockies. They suck. That would not have happened at Truist Park. That would have happened on a lot of fields across the league. It's just a bad look for Colorado security, and unfortunately, it's a bad look for Major League Baseball, but especially Colorado Rocky security.
All right, Coach, your thoughts.
It seemed like Otis from Martin was a security because I say that probably be the only way they got on the field like that. Old Otis didn't get respond fast enough, I tell you. And like I say, it leads to the fact that if you are a security and you got security posted all around the field, there is no way that fans could get that far. But what's troubling twice is the fact that none of his players ran out there. Where were they? They were just so shocked. But that was a long run to be able to get to him, and nobody moved to try to say, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all coming out here for? And his players didn't move. Maybe, like I said, maybe they were caught off by the moment or whatever. But it turned out well. And Acuna, who's a pretty even-tempered guy, he took it in stride. He didn't go crazy and go off on Colorado security. He said, hey, I'm cool. Nobody got hurt this time. But like you said, what's going to stop another time from this happening? Because he's a pretty popular fella right now. So, hey, man, how you doing?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens going forward with security. This past week, I was actually in Detroit visiting my daughter. I went to two of the Detroit Tigers versus New York Yankees games this week, and it was interesting. The day that the incident happened with Ronald Acuna Jr., that game was before that incident, and I was sitting like maybe 4 rows from the field, and they had some old dude sitting right there. Like I had a direct line to Aaron Judge. Like I could see him up close and personal. I could have climbed over the fencing area to get to him because the fence wasn't that high. And I was saying to my daughter, who came to the game with me, I said, "Listen, what do you think that man could do if somebody ran out there on the field?" And she looked at me and said, "Absolutely nothing." And it was interesting that same day the incident with Ronald Acuna Jr. happens. Then the next day I go to the same game, same two teams playing, got about the same amount of same type tickets, about 7 rows from the front. This time they had a more athletic guy present and accounted for to make sure that situation didn't happen. So obviously there was something that went through Major League Baseball, making sure that these ballparks had better security, beefing up security for these ball players. But you can't afford somebody like Ronald Acuna Jr. to be quote unquote accosted, because that's not good for the game. And that could have been terrible for the Braves because he fell. And then we already know he just came off a knee injury. And that could have easily led to another injury that could have really derailed his season as well as the Braves season. So thankfully, nothing more came out of it, but just a little slight fall, security getting them. But Major League Baseball, you got to do better. Armani, what's your thoughts about the Acuna Jr. situation?
I mean, security got to do better. I mean, you can't just have fans and spectators just running on the field. Listen, if you get tickets to the game, act like you've been to the game before, please. Don't be out there trying to show your behind, trying to do this, trying to run onto the court, to the field, whatever it is. I mean, like you said, Ronald Acuna could have been hurt. He's already coming off an injury, and, we need him this year. We're depending on him, now and in the postseason. As long as Ronald Acuna healthy, the Braves will be fine. But if he goes down, that could be our season. So, security got to do better. I mean, they have to do better patrolling these fans and, making sure the safety for the players is good. So, hey, just you get tickets to the game, just relax. You don't need to do all that.
All right, we got some comments from Revenite Nation. The president said the fact that security let them get that far is astounding for sure. Keith Roman said Acuna is a bad man, taking it to my Dodgers right now. That he is, and that they are. That he is. I've seen better security at Dollar Tree. And, that's funny. Good luck, 6'7", 265. Go ahead and walk up on Judge if you want to. Yeah, he's a grown man. That's for sure. That is for sure. You should see him up close and personal, man. That Joker is a specimen, is a true specimen. All right, let's go to another subject, and this is kind of a very touchy subject to a degree. Um, we know that there was an incident that took place in Atlanta public schools at Mine Red's alma mater, Mays High School. Last week they were playing on local television, and it's captured that one of the coaches punched one of the players in the gut right after he came off the field. It was shown on television. This particular situation has gone viral. TMZ called it. The New York Post called it. If you Google the situation, you will see it on all types of news outlets everywhere. So we want to be true to real sports talk because we know that Atlanta is very dear to this particular program. All of us around this panel have spent some extensive time in Atlanta. So therefore, we want to pause and just share some of our thoughts, some of our comments about the incident that took place last Saturday at a varsity football game. Who wants to go first?
I'll take it. Listen, when you're coaching, you can't listen when you're dealing with other people's children. I mean, just keep your hands to yourself. Period. You know, we get it. Things get heated in the moment. Coaches get excited. They start yelling, but to just go out and outright hit somebody else, especially a child, and you're supposed to be an adult. Seriously, that just shows bad character and bad self-control. Just because a player doesn't do what you want them to do, you know, that gives you no rights to put your hands on them. No rights. I don't care what coach you are. You know, you cannot do stuff like that, especially when you take a jab, you really punch them. You can't. No, that's a no. You know, I hope this woke up a lot of coaches in high school, college. Well, we know that ain't gonna happen in the pros because we know what happened in the pros as a coach did that. So you know, just be mindful. Be mindful, coaches. You cannot do stuff like that. I don't care how things get. You know how people are about their children. It's a very touchy subject. I have boys. We have guys on the panel that have kids. I mean, you just cannot do stuff like that. It's a big no-no. You guys have coached, so I know that y'all know. You know, it's one thing to, you know, coaches curse them out, do this, do that, you know, but you cannot physically put your hands on another person's child, especially striking them. So, you know, you got to do better. But I'm pretty sure that coach is going to get relieved because it's over for him. They win that. It made nationwide news, so it's a done deal. Rev, you muted.
You muted, Rev.
Okay, thank you. Did they fire the coach yet? Yes, they fired the coach. Georgia High School Association has already taken his certificate. Keith Ramon said lawsuit. Jerome, good afternoon, Jim, and welcome back. Thank you, man, and good afternoon to you. Who wants that in next?
I can, no problem.
Go ahead.
I mean, he really got pretty much what they were going to give him because if he was a teacher, they would have not only taken his coaching certificate, but they would have taken his teaching certificate as well. He would have lost everything. They don't. Georgia High School Association don't play when it comes to something like that. He would have lost it all. And I know Rev, me and we've coached for many years. And, you know, you get upset at a game or something. And there have been times I really wanted to punch Rev, but I didn't because we're friends. You know, he was
Tell them why you wanted to punch because you got tired of losing.
well, I'm gonna get into that, Rev. There you go. But it's just not. You know, there's no way you get at a point where you have to punch a kid. You talk to a kid, and ain't no coaches blow up at kids. I mean, that's normal. But putting your hands on a child, that can't have any acceptable meaning. And two other things come from that. And Thomas just said it. If he had parents in the stands, and that could have gotten more uglier than it did on live TV. Because them parents, I don't think anything in the security would have stopped them from jumping out the stands and going after that coach. So luckily it didn't get that far. And then the new information that came out about what the Mays coaches were doing at one of their practices, walking on the players' knees. Atlanta Public Schools is digging into this right now as we speak, and it's going to be some upheaval and that coaching staff at our football staff at May, because they're seeing a lot of unethical things going on, and it's gonna get worse before it get better. It looks like, and hopefully everything comes out of it straight, and they get a coaching staff. And I know I don't want to question if they care about the kids, but some of the tactics that were used are not acceptable in this day and age.
All right, Red, jump in there.
In this day and age. All right, Coach. How long you been coaching, man?
About 20-something years.
Ever punched a guy like that?
We were playing.
Real? How long you been coaching?
I coached for 7 years.
Ever punched a kid like that on the basketball court because he couldn't make a shot?
No.
Couldn't properly defend the guy?
No.
Right. And see, this is my pet peeve this entire week about all this. We don't have 3 people sit up here and don't say, we understand the gist of the game. We understand heated moments. We understand you get upset, you're passionate. But nobody on this panel said, I would have done the same thing. Or that coach should be given a pass. All this week, I've been hearing morons on my page and all through the week been trying to give this coach a pass for doing something so asinine. And on national TV, too. This thing was picked up on national TV, national airways, and you still had grown people saying, oh, man, why are they doing the coach so wrong? Well, they need to realize, man, the coach is just trying to motivate the players. It was the heat of the moment. He lost his temper. Oh, man, back in my day when things were done so much worse. Yeah, back in your day. Back in the 80s and the 90s. What year are we now? 2023. Jesus Christ. There are plenty of things that were done back in the 80s and 90s that were accepted then that ain't accepted now. You think you can hit a child on live TV in front of the nation and not have people criticize you and not have people call for your freaking job? Are you morons insane trying to defend this freaking coach? Jesus Christ. I mean, this is ridiculous, all the stuff I heard. Oh, man, they just trying to toughen the boys up. Oh, man, they need some discipline. They need to stop it. Excuse me. We are in the era where everything is sensitized, okay? People are too sensitive these days for you to think you can put your hands on a child and have no repercussions about it, okay? We all understand. The coaches have done lots of positive things for those fellas, okay? But I'm sorry, you got caught on TV pretty much assaulting a player. We can't let that go. What world do you live in? Do you think we can let that go? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out all these folks who trying to make us feel guilty for criticizing that coach for doing something that everybody say he was completely wrong from doing. Heat of the passion, we understand. Pop upside the helmet, okay. Dude, you balled up your fist and punched the player in the gut. The player kneeled over, got back up and kneeled over again. He obviously wasn't feeling too good, coach. And I understand all the players want to support the coach. And coach, they even said the parents, the guy's parents, the players' parents even supported this guy. But I'm sorry. You are not going to get a pass for this. You are not going to get a slap on the wrist. I don't care if you gave 100 scholarships out. Yo, it's out. Period.
All right, I appreciate all the comments that you all share. Let me just make a disclaimer before I make my comments. The coach who was guilty of the incident, we played high school basketball together at Mays. The head coach at Mays was a starting quarterback my freshman year when he was a senior. So I want to make these disclaimers real quickly so that when you hear my comments, it may seem like I'm going in a different direction, but I'm not. I'm going to start with Red. What Red said in terms of this day, he's totally correct that you cannot touch players in the manner that the coach touched the player in this day. Because I know the coach, I know the day that he came in. I can testify his head football coach, who's now gone home to be with the Lord, did much worse than what was seen on last Saturday. His head football coach was actually my JV basketball coach. And we had a player, my ninth grade year, who was a 10th grader, who's 6'6", who just constantly wanted to dunk the ball and missed. And this coach told him in a film session that if you dunk that ball one more time and miss, there are going to be repercussions. So what did this coach, coach, the other coach, Matt, I'll just put it that way.
Okay.
Former football player, Coach Matt.
Right. Okay. I didn't know you talking about that, Coach Matt.
So when this particular player, I almost mentioned his name, missed the dunk. When the ball went out of bounds, this coach went on the basketball court in front of everybody, got the 6'6" cat by the jersey, drug him all the way from the basketball court to the weight room, which used to be behind the bleachers, and left the bench completely empty with coaches to chastise this particular player. This same coach who was guilty of the offense was brought up with another coach that I know very personally because I played for him. He would have us circle around, get in a tight circle, and literally throw punches, gut punches at players. So understand, yes, we are in a different age and it's not appropriate. Let me make that. But players like myself in our age bracket, we did come up with other different coaches. Now let's put context to these licks because I want people to understand this. You don't feel comfortable taking those licks or dishing out those licks unless you develop a relationship with players. That's one of the things that's missed in this conversation. The reason why we did not get offended when one of the coaches used to give a gut punch, because that coach would be the first one to take somebody home. That coach would be the first person to get food for somebody who was starving, buy uniform, find money. So I think that's missing in the conversation, that we're trying to make these players these coaches look like animals. But the reality is many times when coaches do that, and I'm not saying it's right, but they have developed a relationship with these players. In some cases, they have invested their own money, their own resources. So I don't want us to look at these coaches as if they're barbaric. Again, what he did was wrong. But in many of these situations, these coaches develop a relationship. They would be the first one to give the shirt off their backs for these kids. For many of them, they are the ones who are not only their coach, but they're more of a parent than their parents are to them. They provide for their parents more than their parents provide for them. Some of them probably could not play if it weren't for the coaches putting their own money or finding money for these kids to have the resources to get some of the things that they need in order to play. So I have to bring that element up because, again, the way it looks like this is just this mad coach hitting somebody. And, again, he was wrong.
Yeah.
But let's not take out the equation that there are relationships that have been developed. And there are persons when you develop a relationship where you can do certain things with. Again, it got caught on television. Again, it's not authorized in these days. But let's not discount the possibility that there was a relationship, and that may be the reason why both player and parents might be going to bat for this particular coach who was wrong by touching inappropriately this play.
Yeah, I agree, Rev. You make some very good points. I guess that's I guess I'm more upset at the fact that the coach let it be seen on TV. Look, we all know coaches get heated, and behind the scenes, no telling what's going on behind the scenes. There's probably stuff to go on that people probably wouldn't mind because it's behind the scenes. Caught on TV, it's a different look. Like I say, behind the scenes, back in our day, Maze High, behind the scenes, all type of crap was going on, especially on the practice field. We had all kind of tough practices. I've been through it. Everybody been through it, like I say. But I'm pretty sure, I would hope none of our coaches would have been dumb enough to get caught on TV doing some of the stuff they did at practice, not for the public to see. And that's the only thing I'm looking at. Like, man, dude, you had.
Yeah, and they're off.
And we're. He's back. Go ahead, Red. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. But yeah, like I say, it was just a bad look across the nation. Hey, this thing happened in the locker room, and the only thing we heard was just players saying, wow, man, coach went off at halftime. But it's just what we were hearing. Wouldn't have been no big thing. It's in the locker room. Keep it from public view. Don't let the TV cameras see this and put a bad disdain on our school, because once the TV cameras capture it, what you expect us to do? It's going to be hard for me and Rev to support something like this once the TV cameras capture it, even though we know, especially back in our day, it was going on like this all the time. So Rev is right. Don't judge the coaches like they're monsters or barbaric. I'm just judging the stupid decision that you let it happen in the public vicinity, man. You know you on TV. You know folks are watching. Wait till halftime. Wait till you get back to practice next week on the practice field. Something, but just don't do this in a public view. So now we all have to sit up here and criticize you for it, even though, yeah, stuff like that was going on way back in our day. Stuff much worse. So we understand that part. But you got to understand it's 2023 and folks are watching.
Yeah. Good point. Now let me just interject something, because I want us, all of us on this panel, except for Armani, came up in the era where discipline was given in classrooms. Like, I think Red was old enough because he was a freshman, I was a senior. We remember when teachers used to pop students in the classroom.
Mama whoop kids, so yeah, I know.
Exactly. So here's the thing that I don't want us to pile on too much, because let's be honest, and this is a black conversation now.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Those of us who talk about the trauma, and Melvin Watkins, that's my boy. He talking about unhealthy behavior, and that's how we view it now, because to a certain degree we've been conditioned by culture to say certain things are unhealthy, and in some cases, some parents, coaches, teachers went overboard. Let me not, just like some parents went overboard, having kids go get their own switch and spanking them that way and so forth. So,
man, real, you giving me nightmares.
Can we be honest though? Can we be honest?
How you mean?
I be in the kitchen.
Okay.
That would I be my full time.
All right, coach. All right. Can we be honest to say, yeah? Can we be honest and really say that our black students were better because of more physical discipline back in the day? Can we be honest and say there were less classroom distractions?
Yeah.
When there was more discipline in the classroom? Can we be honest that there was a day when not only teachers would discipline students, but our parents would validate what the teachers did. I mean, because here we are, let's not act like our kids are not out of control.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like just let's go 2 weeks before. When have we ever heard of a varsity football game between two rivals being played at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning? That's because our kids are not disciplined.
Absolutely.
There's a difference between a white environment for most white kids and a black environment for most black kids. Most black kids do not get disciplined at home. If we're going to be totally honest in this conversation, totally honest, before integration, and in some cases, I'll go on to say assimilation, our schools, our black teachers served as the surrogate parents for these kids that did not get any discipline. What was not being done at home was being taken care of in the school. I had an elementary school principal that used to walk around with a paddle up his sleeve in Roosevelt, New York. And we did not have a tenth of the behavior issues that teachers are experiencing now. So, as we want to talk about, we shouldn't do this, we shouldn't do that. And it was toxic and it was unhealthy. What do we do with undisciplined kids? When did we ever hear kids attacking teachers? When did we ever hear kids
My
cussing out?
generation.
Exactly.
My generation.
The ones that were not touched up.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want us not to dismiss the fact that even though we may look at some stuff as barbaric, toxic, it saved a lot of people in my generation and above.
Yep.
Because this generation coming up now, this undisciplined generation, this unparented generation is causing havoc all over the place. And now we are living in a time where we can't even go to a sports event and have fun without shootings. So I just want us to be a balance. That's all I'm saying in this conversation. Again, I'm not making an excuse. What he did was wrong. It was caught on television, so the authorities have no choice but to do what they had to do. But let's not act like physical discipline has not been a blessing to many people in our race.
Man,
Really?
real, you broke it down so much now. Now to the point I want to say, get a coach a break. but
And the
but you're
thing
right.
is,
You are right. You are right. The kids are out of control, and it's kind of tough. It's kind of like you're saying we can't have it both ways. Now you can't say get on the coach for being just to the kids and then criticize the kids for being out of control. Well, you criticize the parents for letting the kids be out of control these days. So I definitely understand that, and man, it's giving me something to think about now as far as coach. But like you say, getting caught on TV is a bad look, but we can't poo-poo the tough disciplinarians if we have them out there, because we are a generation. This generation is lacking tough discipline and tough authorities these days. So I do agree with that.
and sometimes we do have to.
Go ahead, Armani.
Oh, my bad, coach.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sometimes, I mean, the community discipline needs to be done. I'm sorry. I know what I say is, listen,
You good,
if
man.
your
You
child
good.
is out of line with any adult, even when when I was growing up, how I grew up, I kind of got the last of the old school discipline. If you do something out in the yard or out in town or in the neighborhood, that adult will you get something from that adult, and then you'll go home and then you'll get some again. So that some of that needs to be brought back, especially in my generation. And then as the generations are coming along, They need that because it did save us a lot, and then because they got to know, you can't just be going around being disrespectful to other people, and you also have to keep in mind that some of these kids definitely don't have it at home at all. Some of these kids come from single parent households where there's no discipline. They can do what they want. So,
Coach, you want to jump in?
Well, I'm just gonna say this, and everybody has made these good points. I've been in education now for over 25 years. I've been there, seen everything. And what we used to do back in the days, they had every child got a form to take home, and it was simple form, 2 checks. Check box 1, I give the school permission to discipline my child. Check box 2, I don't give the school permission to discipline my child. And if you didn't give didn't give the school permission, your child goes home for 3 days when they did something. Those parents got tired of that. And by the first month of the school, every parent has signed. It's 500 something parents had checked off, I give the school permission to discipline my child. And the disciplinarian at the school was me. And the principal would call me and say, Coach, I need you to go to so-and-so room. She'll give me that fiberglass powder, and I would go in there, have a nice little talk with the kid, and say, hey, we're not going to repeat this again. And I would give them those licks with the powder. I'm not going to hide and say I didn't. I gave them the licks with the powder because at that point, that's what they deserve. When you raise up at a teacher or yell at a teacher, stuff like that, no, that's not acceptable. And it didn't matter if it was kindergarten or 5th grade. All of them got the same treatment. And we had total control of the school. And I didn't have to do it a lot, but we had control. Like you all have said, these kids, unfortunately, punching them is not the answer. Now, we all agree with that. That the coach wrong. Punching kids is not the answer. But kids have to understand, you just can't do what you want to do against adults. You got to be shown that you have to have respect. And a lot of stuff that we went through as players and then being coaches and teachers, I've seen a lot of stuff that should have been reported. I've seen a lot of stuff that should have been reported, but it hadn't. And in the advent of social media, everything can be seen now because everybody got camera phones. Everybody got iPads. Everybody got all this stuff. You're right, Keith. Everybody, it wasn't no social media and all that. But like Red said, nobody should be defending this coach. Unfortunately, nobody, because he was wrong. You don't get that mad where you punch a kid just like that in the stomach for no reason. You talk to him. And I see, we've all seen yelling and all that. But somewhere is a line got to be drawn where you can discipline that kid without putting your hands on him. Man, you remember all them barrel rolls and crab walks and all that? Hey, don't discipline the kids. Kids learn discipline when you out there in that hot sun, and you got to do that.
Did I, Coach? Lord have mercy, did I?
I mean, it's a way you do it, and really now, looking at this now, you can't do that to a kid now. It's too hot to do all that, and you can't.
Let me interject 2 quick things real quick. Going back to the coach being like a father figure, sometimes being the parent. I'm gonna call his name. Coach Otis was my head basketball coach. John Otis at Mays High School. He made us do some things that would be viewed as barbaric, that would be viewed as over the top. One thing he knew was that there were certain players on the team that would abuse their bodies. He knew that they were drinking. First of all, nobody was at the legal age of drinking in high school. One of the things that he would do, because he knew there wasn't much discipline at home, he would literally, when he knew that some of the players would drink, I don't drink, I didn't drink back then. So I wasn't, but I had to pay the consequence because I was on the team. He would literally make us get on the floor and roll from one end of the court to the next one, knowing that we would get dizzy and some would have to throw up as a tool of discouragement to keep team players from drinking. That would be viewed as barbaric now, but that was a teaching tool to let them know don't abuse your body. He was more effective in doing that than many of them were getting at home because reality is many of them were being introduced to drinking at home, if we're going to be honest about it. But the last thing I want to do and say is this: what Chardin made a statement, because I'm a living witness to what he said. The main reason men are refusing to be educated, and this is honest, because
Absolutely.
I thank God I was an educator for 2 years in the classroom. I coached for 7 years. I would have students in high school, the year I taught at Mays, physical education, literally get up in my face, in my comfort zone, baiting me, baiting me. So to protect myself, what I would say to the teachers is, I mean, to my students is this: Coach Harris is getting nervous for his life. So whatever he does to this kid who's in his personal space, he reacted out of fear. So if anybody asks why this kid is coming off the ground, Coach Harris was operating out of fear. He feared for his life. So therefore, that's why he beat this kid down. Okay? Now, I knew at some point some kid was going to go beyond my just talking. And they were going to test me.
Mhm.
And then I knew that eventually there were going to be three things. Because let's be honest here. And again, the coach is wrong. But I want us to look on the other side.
Mhm.
Teachers have no power in this day.
Nope.
If a kid hits a teacher, guess what? They may get suspended, but they'll be back in school.
Yep.
Mhm.
But if a teacher hits a student out of retaliation, they still lose their certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me where the fairness is in that. We
Zero.
can't even defend, teachers can't even defend themselves. So I knew I had three fates if I stayed in education. To Charlotte's point. One, I would either be in jail, beating somebody's kid down. Two, I would have been fired. Three, I would have been killed by someone's parent.
Mhm.
Those were my three because I was not going to be one that's going to let some kid feel like they can just talk to me in your way, come in my space. What does that do? You empower other kids to think that's okay too.
Mm-hmm.
So Chardin is spot on saying this is the main reason why men are refusing to be educators, because real men, and I don't care how you take it, and this is why I'm glad we're not on a major network, so we don't have to be careful about some of the things that we say. But real men are not going to be in the business of being punked by kids.
Nope.
Again, that's not
Nope.
the subject matter of
No.
what happened in May, so I'm being correct. But I just wanted us to balance the conversation because we see kids more than enough in these days who get away with abuse to teachers and coaches. That's all I got
Well
to say.
said, Fred. Well said. And you're right. That those are the times we live in, and that's why I feel I had to take a step back after listening to how you and Coach broke it down. Because I was very vitriol uh, in my assessments and my criticisms. And like I say, I'm still saying the coach was wrong because you were caught on TV. But just looking at the big picture, kids are out of control. And if we have men that refuse to not back down, who are going to stand their ground and be tough disciplinaries, we do need those guys in the systems, and we need those particular guys in young men's lives right there, because they're not going to back down. They're going to make sure the
Yeah.
kid hear what they have to say. They're going to get their message across, and the kid not going to scare them away. And those are the guys that we need around. So this particular situation is deterring men from being educators or from being mentors to young men. It's kind of a sad situation because,
Yeah.
like I said, we already have few mentors and few tough disciplinarians. The kids now, and if this is making me and feel like, man, like real, like, man, like I say, I only have a few options because I ain't gonna let no kid punk me, then. And you understand it because we don't want you killing your livelihood for some punk kid. So you can't say you don't understand it. Man, it's like I say, it's just a tough time we living in, especially for folks who want to be disciplinaries, folks who care about the children, but for the society and society's rules and society's laws are keeping a lot of folks from doing the right thing.
Yeah, and another thing, I'll tell anybody, when you have kids going to school, it starts when they're young. My boy's age, 6 and 3, for instance. My son started going back to school last week. I go to every parent teacher conference. You got to be active in a child's life. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of parents, a lot of fathers especially, aren't active in their kids' life. And I told my son and I told the teacher, I said, if you have any problems with him, call me. And I told my son right then, if this teacher got to call me for any reason other than that you sick or something happened, in an emergency situation, you're gonna get dealt with when you get home. And that's always been my motto. And I'm not standing out from
it. You Rev, the whole key word in the thing that we've been talking about is, and we've established that if you don't have a rapport with these kids growing up, sometimes it gets hard to discipline them. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I know that I like to do at the beginning of everything. But get a rapport with them where they know they can come to me for anything. If I fuss at them, they say, okay, he looking out for me or something. I'm not gonna get all yelling and screaming at you and all that, because I haven't done that. Like I said, I've been doing this forever. But I'm gonna get to a point where you feel comfortable around me, and if you get mad with something that I do or say, we gonna talk it out. We gonna, without any kind of physical contact, without you, like Rev said, getting up in my personal space and all that. No, we gonna see what's going on first, and we gonna get that thing straight. And like Rev said, I've had it to a point where kids that did not know me have come try to get a look like they want to get physical, and I diffuse that real quick because, like Rev said, I'm not going to jail for you. I'm not losing my job for you. I got to pay bills. All this stuff not gonna happen with you getting that close to me. So let's get this real quick, because if I have to go that far with you, what the guy said, I'm gonna make it worth my while.
Yeah,
sure. And real, like I say, when I was playing, the coach that a lot of players felt like they could talk to, the coach that a lot of players felt like they had a rapport with, was gonna always be the coach. Now, see, that coach probably could have got away with something like that. Now, maybe not on live TV, but say he did it in the locker room or just on the practice field. Wouldn't have been no issue like that. Coach Davis had his players that he had a rapport with. Coach Caldwell had, don't worry, Dennis, I got the right name. I wasn't going to say Coach Judson. Coach Caldwell had his players that he had a rapport with. It was Coach Davis and Coach Caldwell. I'm not sure about Coach McLeod. I don't think Coach Judson had a rapport with anybody. So if Coach Judson had tried that with anybody, it probably would have been the issue. I don't know, Dennis, you can back me up, but like I say, and I think Coach Helen, my senior year, he definitely had a rapport with me. So Coach Helen had a rapport with players. But like you guys said, you gotta have a relationship with some of these players. Now, we're not sure what the relationship between the player and the coach who hit the kid have. If the parents and the players supporting them, I'm assuming he had somewhat of a solid relationship with them. But like I say, you have to establish a relationship with these players. You have to establish a rapport just for them to have any type of respect for you, for them to listen to what you're saying these days. And like you said, you guys are right. It starts right away. Like you say, Armani, when it's your children, it starts from the beginning when they're young. I guess from a coach or a player, I guess Coach Rev, it starts right in that first meeting when you see the players. Yeah. Like right away, the first meeting you have with players, the rapport and the relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Red, I'm sorry, you said Coach Caldwell?
He was at Mays doing my team.
Caldwell?
The one just
Trying to
died.
think of his first name.
The one that
Dennis,
just
you remember?
passed?
Yeah, the one that just passed. He just passed. He passed like
Mhm.
last year, I think.
Man, he was a clown. That clown
Oh,
wasn't. Now, I say that jokingly because we played softball against each other. We always used to talk
Yeah.
about coaching and everything.
yeah, you know my cousin Jennifer. She knew him, and you know my cousin Jennifer too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she knew him.
All all right, gentlemen, we're gonna put a bow on this because Pastor Watkins said it's time to discuss the Cowboys Super Bowl.
Oh, you ready? You ready for that? No NFL that NFL preview or another Cowboys choke job, Melvin?
All right, let's do this real quickly, man. Let's get our NCAA picks in. And let's just say, I want to thank you all for a healthy discussion, balanced discussion. Thank you for allowing me to interject and just bring a different nuance because as and I'm saying as a black community, we have to look at the big total picture of what's going on in school because, yes, the incident was wrong by the coach punching the player especially if it got caught on television. There was probably nothing that kid did on the field, to Keith's point, that deserved him getting punched. While at the same time, more teachers are getting attacked from students in this day and age than students are getting punched. If we're gonna be honest about it, so let's have a balanced conversation because some stuff needs to change all across the board. All right. This last comment, child must have a fear of consequence, which doesn't exist anymore. We fear my mom and her discipline, and we knew what not to do, which is very true because as I got out of teaching, I remember telling a student I'm going home. She literally said, "Call my mom. She ain't gonna do nothing." I wish I would have said that to some parent.
Boy,
Call Dr. Harris. Call Sylvia Harris. I would have got the worst whooping ever. But nevertheless,
Rev,
let's
I would have got it. I would have got an extra beating just for saying that right there.
just for
Telling
saying
you,
that.
telling
I
Just
ain't
you.
for
gonna
saying
do
that.
nothing. Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah,
tell you what
yeah.
I ain't gonna do.
Yeah. It's totally different world. All right, gentlemen, we're back in where we got to make picks real quickly. So let's make these picks. Three games that we got in the NCAA that happened in this weekend. As we start, Red is our defending champion in the NCAA, two-time champion. I'm a two-time champion, and Coach is a one-time champion in NCAA. All right. Armani just started picking last year. He knows what last place looks like. He wore that real well
Here we go.
last year. So he realized there's a difference between picking in Rebel Night Nation and picking during the show. So we hopefully he's will step up his game because he was in last place by many games in both NCAA and NFL. So we won't rehash that. It's a new day. And y'all pray for Coach because don't see too many people wearing masks in the stands. And that's where he won his championships when he got these COVID championships. So he doesn't do well because also we weren't picking a lot of USC games at that time because games were being canceled. But nevertheless, I'm not saying anything else. Let's pick some games, gentlemen.
Boy.
NCAA, there's a big time game that's happening today in Charlotte, North Carolina. Let me give us some picking music right quick. Here we go. Let's do this real quick. Let's get it going. All right, gentlemen, let's get ready to pick. Brother Night Nation, feel free to let your picks be made known during our pick 'em. North Carolina versus South Carolina. Since Red, you the defending champion, I'll let you decide if you want to pick first or last.
I'll go last this time.
All right, Amani, since you were last, you go first. The last one first. So here we go, man. What's your pick? North Carolina, South Carolina. Who you got?
You got Spencer Rattler versus Drake May. SEC versus ACC. And you know what? I'm gonna start the pickles off right. Hey, if I get it wrong, I get it wrong. But I'm calling South Carolina for the upset in Charlotte this afternoon.
Okay, Amani starting out the game with an upset. What you got, Coach?
Drake May is that Heisman candidate they keep talking about, and Rattler is good, but South Carolina still got that unknown that I don't trust. I'm going with North Carolina.
All right. I'm going with North Carolina as well. North Carolina ended the season with 4 straight losses. That has fueled their spring practice, summer practice, into the season practice. So therefore, I'm gonna go with the hyped up guy, Brother Mays, to come out victorious over Brother Rattler of South Carolina. So give me North Carolina. Who you got, Red?
Surprisingly, I'm with our money. SEC, baby, South Carolina, they at home. They on their home turf. They in their territory. And I don't trust these UNC quarterbacks too much. Not Taylor Heineke, but the dude in Pittsburgh. Never trusted Mitch Trubisky. Never trusted him too much. This kid that y'all just said right now, yeah, like I say, he ended the season poorly, and now he kind of hyped up for this new one. Don't trust it. I need to see it first. I do trust Spencer Rattler a little better. Like I say, South Carolina has more returning players, better cohesion. I'm gonna go with them to protect their home turf. SEC, baby. Let's get it a start on the right foot, Armani. SEC.
Now you know that game is not in Columbia, South Carolina. It's in the neutral on a neutral
Well,
field.
yeah, it's neutral, but it's technically a home game for South Carolina. They gonna feel like it's a home game, neutral turf. But I'm still taking.
It's in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I lived there for 7 years, so hey, it's Chapel Hill probably country up in Charlotte. I'll say that.
Okay, well, I'll throw it in like we're going with an upset then. I'm still taking
going
South
All right.
Carolina.
Jerome Cash got North Carolina. Maurice Thor got North Carolina. Bro, Dana Johnson Sr. got South Carolina. The president got South Carolina. Maurice Thor said,
Ah,
Red, the game
let's
is in
go,
Charlotte
Charlotte.
at the Carolina Panthers Stadium. All right, next game. Coach is on you. LSU versus Florida State. Neutral field game. Who you got, Coach?
Again, I think LSU is promptly overrated. I still don't trust their coach, and I'm gonna go with my homeboy Trey Benson from Florida State, and I'm gonna pick Florida State in a huge upset.
How can a coach not be trusted? And he just won the SEC his first year.
Coach,
Then they got
Rev,
Then they got
Rev,
McDaniels coming back, coach. See, I think you put too much on your hometown boy from Mississippi. Well, I hope he does well, but he's gonna take an L because I'm going with those Bayou Ballers in LSU for the W. So give me Brian Kelly, year 2 in his regime to win against Florida State, who lost a nail biter last year to Florida State. They're gonna come back and put that wood on them this year. So give me LSU. Who you got, Red?
Now look, Coach, I know the game is in Orlando, Florida, but Orlando ain't Tallahassee, and the Seminoles ain't at home, baby. It is gonna be LSU, Brian Kelly on the neutral field. Offense, baby. Offense. He gonna treat them Seminoles like they the turd and just beat the brakes off of them suckers. That's right. Brian Kelly gonna see turds when he see in Florida State, and that's gonna incite him to get a victory because you know he gonna win when he play Alabama. What he did last time.
Oh, Armani. Armani, tell us why Florida State is gonna win.
Florida State is not. I'll say this. I'm glad we on your mind, Red. I'm glad we on your mind already, but calm down. You know, it's just the first game. But as much as I cannot stand yellow and purple, them Bayou Bengals, they're going to beat Florida State and in blowout fashion.
In blowout fashion. All right, let's see what Jerome Case has the Florida State Seminoles for the win. Maurice Thor, in honor of Shakari Richardson, he's picking LSU. The president is picking FSU, even though LSU is a 2-point favorite. And Bro Daniel Johnson Sr. is picking LSU. Last game for the Pickles for this week of college football. We got Clemson versus Duke. Oh, Clemson versus Duke. Is Clemson prime for the upset special? Not this week, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Dabo to get these guys ready. I think Dabo will do what needs to be done on a neutral field so that Clemson will take care Duke. So I'm going with Clemson. Who you got, Red?
Man, is this basketball? Because if it ain't, I'm taking Dabo and Clemson. Coach Krzyzewski is retired, and I don't even know who coaches Duke football. I know Daniel Jones ain't there no more, and he was the only reason that Duke had a chance in the last few years anyway. No Daniel Jones, no Coach K. Duke is irrelevant. Give me Clemson.
Clemson, Armani. Are you going with Clemson or are you going with another upset special like you did in the first pick game?
Nah, Duke, y'all there to make good grades and play basketball. That's it. That's all you're there for. Make good grades, play basketball. Clemson.
Coach, round it out. Isn't it pure sweep for Clemson with the pickers?
It's an easy sweep because I think Clemson, little Dabo Swinney, is on his little redemption tour. They haven't talked about him in a national championship format in a long time, so I think he got a little fed up with it. So he gonna start out by jumping on Duke. And Rev, on a side note, I know you ain't seen it. Colorado's about to score on TCU in the first quarter.
Nice. Come on,
Yeah.
Dion. Show us what you're working with. All right, we'll see if that holds up because we saw Georgia Tech have a great first half and just wet the bed in the second half. But nevertheless,
Yeah.
all right, here it is.
Colorado just scored 7-0.
Yep.
Nice. All right,
All
bro.
right.
Dana Johnson got Clemson. The president got Clemson. He said, "Get ready for my upset special." So that means that gut gonna be working. Maurice Sproul says Clemson is going to smoke Duke by double digits. Jerome K said another Duke Dirty Dabo for the
Dirty
win.
Dabo.
And the president said he has two. The first is Colorado will shock the world. Now, did you just say that because they scored, Mr. President? I needed you to call that about 30 minutes ago. Nevertheless, all right, that ends for our pick 'em for this week. We'll post our picks on, on the site. Feel free to share your picks and watch us as we tally rather the various wins during the course of the year. All right, gentlemen, we're going to pause real quickly because it is officially halftime of the Red and Rev Sports Show. We're moving on. And we'll be right back in just a minute. We'll be talking some NFL. We'll have a little bit of more talk with. We got a lot of talk, man. We'll come back in NFL preview and the whole nine, so forth and so on. So we got 5 for 5, 5 for 5, 5 on it, all that good stuff. It's getting hot out here. That's why I can't concentrate because I'm checked out of my hotel. But y'all pray for the Reverend and make sure I won't sweat out my outfit while I'm out here outside. Nevertheless, we'll be right back for the second half
Drink,
of the Red and Red
drink
Sports
some
Show.
water, Real.
That's what I'm about to do. Got it right here, bro. And we are back on the Red and Red Sports Show. We're about to get ready to have some more good sports talk in just a moment. The president has a few comments. He says he had two. Colorado will shock the world. He says second is Boise State over Washington. He said y'all laughed at my picks last year, so we'll see if you're 2 for 2, Mr. President. And of course, we will be quick to give you your props if you are correct. All right,
Boy, it's the
let's
state
move
of
on, gentlemen.
Washington.
Let's do this real quickly since this is a relevant topic. Red, are you ready to give the Braves report, man?
Sure, I can
Let's
get it.
do the Braves report because this is prime news. I mean, we know that they're in the big series right about now. So, Red, you're on front and center. Get ready for the Braves report in 3, 2, and 1.
It's game time. It's GT.
Now, Rev, I'm not sure. Can we still do the chop now? We're gonna get in trouble. Or did we work that deal out?
I think we can still do the chop.
Okay, okay. Man, well, welcome to the Braves report, y'all. And boy, as you can tell from the smile on my face and the elastic in my voice, that what the Braves are making me very happy. I don't think we lost this week. Let me think. 3 games with Colorado and 2 games with the Dodgers. Am I right, fellas?
Correct.
That's
No.
right. And we didn't lose. Like, I know we didn't lose to the Rockets at all this year. And I know we don't won the first 2 games of Dodgers. So that is 5-0, baby. 5-0 week. The Braves just continue to dominate. Like my man Chris Gibson said, right, Braves, y'all don't win this ring, man. This is going to be really disappointing. I mean, because even the team we were so worried about, the biggest series of the season. Well, we handling the Dodgers. Yeah, they gave us a little scare that first game, but boy, we came back last night and beat them regular Braves baseball. Like I say, the Braves pitching has caught up to the hitting. Our MVP candidate has had a spectacular week. Let me just break down. And we was talking about the Colorado incident that Ron Acuna that we were very disdained about. Let me give you some numbers since that incident. Ronald Acuna Jr., since the incident in Colorado, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs, 3 stolen bases. The man got married and made history, becoming the first player to have a 30-60 season. Oh, and by the way, the Braves are 4-0 during that particular stretch. So, boy, you want to talk about MVP? Oh, I mean, man, they even get married. Say, I'm gonna get married. Well, before I make history, Ron, dude, you are the man. You are the man. Mookie, like I say, Mookie, I love you, man, but this man right here is the MVP this season, okay? You just got hot in August. Ron been hot the whole year, and it's going to be a travesty if he don't win that MVP award. NL MVP Ron Acuna, best team in the game, Atlanta Braves, top offense all across the board, runs, OBP, average, home runs, everything. Braves offense is dominating, and the pitching ain't far behind, baby. So that is the Braves week for you. Undefeated week.
All right. And they're on the verge of possibly sweeping the Dodgers 2 more games. Coach, what's your thoughts real
Worried
quick
about
on the
that elder
Braves?
tonight and his no fastballs, but we'll see.
2 words that and this is just a hope that could push the Braves completely over the top. Darius Vines. His start was very impressive, and if he can show that he can be that 5th starter, a lot of teams are going to be in some serious trouble if he can do what Winans couldn't do, or those other pitchers. If he can come in and say, "Hey, I'll give you 6 good innings of strong work," that'll be an added bonus to what they already got. Because you're not going to stop him hitting wise. Marcell Ozuna, you don't have to do anything else. I think you got everybody to forget about the little incident with the police by showing what you're doing this season. And so, hey, it's sky's the limit for the Braves. I don't care what anybody says. Sky's the limit. This team. The only thing that would stop them, that would barely stop them, is the relief pitching. And And I'm not talking about Iglesias because it seems like he's turned the corner and say, "Hey, give it to me in the ninth. I got y'all." It's that middle that the only thing you got to worry about. But other than that, this team is destined for the championship. You can take out if they take out the Dodgers 4 straight games, somebody will turn up and say, "Well, I mean, it's just September." No, it's a psychological thing for the Braves to take out the Dodgers. So hey, sky's the limit.
I'm gonna interject real quickly. We got a correction on the magic number 16. Another comment. Freeman looked like he was salivating, standing first. Like darn, if I was in that lineup, and possibly because the Dodgers lineup, as you really see it, is not as deep as the Braves, and it's amazing how the Braves in this series has already averaged 7 runs per game, and you got two of their top players not even really playing up to their potential. Olsen is in the slump right now, and
Boy,
then
is he?
yeah, he's in a major slump, and I'm a little concerned. And even Sean Murphy is in a slump as well. So the two Oakland A's products, we need them to get out their slump and be ready for playoff baseball. But the good thing about this particular lineup is that when players are in slumps, you got so many other hitters throughout the lineup that can pick up their slack. And that's really what makes this Braves team probably the most dangerous Braves team that I've ever witnessed because 1 through 9, they are the real deal. So that's what gives me a lot of hope. And to Coach's point, Iglesias has done much better. And the starting pitching with Freed back healthy, Strider, that's a great 1-2 punch. And Charlie Morton has found his stride the past 3 or 4 starts, and he's doing some real good pitching. So if you go in to the playoffs with a healthy Max Freed, healthy Spencer Strider, you don't mind Morton being that third pitcher the way he's pitching right now. And then you can bring Elder off the bench. Now, the only thing with Bynes, Coach, he's helping us in the regular season. Do you really see him helping in the postseason? Because you don't need a fifth starter in the
But that's what I
postseason.
said. Hopefully, he can be that guy. He gives the pitchers rest. Those main pitchers rest. If he can come in there and pitch down the stretch, you can rest those big timers like Morton and all those guys, Strider and everybody. He can come in and give them some innings. Those guys don't have to work as hard, and you save them and get them healthy for the playoffs. Simple as that.
So basically, okay, so basically saying he's a real help now
Yeah.
to get them. Okay, I got you.
He gives you big time, but they don't have to pitch every other game day or whatever.
Yeah,
I
cause I
got
was
you.
gonna say he probably not gonna make the postseason roster.
Yeah, he
Not
does.
nobody, not
Yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Oh my God!
for sure.
I hate to keep interrupting. Colorado has picked off TCU in the end zone. They were driving.
Wow, wow.
Man,
Okay,
Dion,
man.
they are gonna be a team to watch this season. No matter what, they just week to week we are gonna be watching everything they do, and that's mainly because of Prime, and that's why we're saying he's affecting them already. The fact that Colorado. TCU is the team that was in the national championship last year, and Colorado is the team that everybody, huh?
And they were a fluke.
Oh well, right, but you see, Colorado is the team that everybody's talking about. That's the team we looking at. Man, Dion is just real. This dude is just magic, man.
Let me
Wherever
let
he
me just say.
goes, folks are gonna follow.
Well, here's the real thing. That Dion is the total package. Okay, here it is. He's entertaining. That's gonna bring eyes. He's knowledgeable, and then he was one of the best to ever do it.
Right.
Then I'll give you a fourth thing. The dude can motivate people.
Mm.
That like you look at the difference between a Deion Sanders and a Patrick Ewing. Patrick Ewing had the knowledge. Patrick Ewing has had the career, but he couldn't motivate anybody to walk through a door, right?
Yeah, ain't out in strip
Okay.
clubs too much.
Yeah. But Dion will literally make you run through truths because he's that much of a master motivator. And that's half of the coaching battle as coach could attest to. Now, he couldn't motivate his team to beat my team. You know what I'm saying? But he understands motivation is very important.
Oh, okay. Now I got another bit of news. Darius Vines Kathy just said it got sent back.
Yeah.
Boo! You gonna keep some of them other guys up there, but he has a good start, and you send him back to Gwinnett.
Well, here's the problem. Here's the problem, coach. Here's the problem, coach. The reason why they probably sent him back is because they got a day off on Monday. So that's that extra day off where you're gonna be back in your regular pitching rotation. So there's no need for him to pitch. If they had a game on Monday without rest, he would be pitching that game. So he's going to be that person when they have like 6 games in a row. He'll be that extra pitcher and he'll pitch them. So calm down, coach. Calm down. Calm down. Calm
Coach, I
down.
didn't think he was gonna be on the team long. I think they just called him up for that spot start for the most part because they needed a pitcher for that particular day. And like I say, I don't think
They
going
brought up
forward,
this reliever from Tampa Bay, Ben Heller. They bought him up a relief pitcher.
Well, they needed another relief pitcher
yeah.
because they better not put Connor McHugh back out there.
Mhm.
Colin McHugh, I'm sorry, Colin
And
McHugh.
then,
They
like
better
I
not
say,
bring him back there.
we kind of Snick kind of taxed the bullpen unnecessarily with the Rockets, so that's why we're in there. You know, we playing the Dodgers right now, so we need as many relief arms as we can. Without the starters are gonna be ready. We got our big boys up for the Dodgers series, but we gonna have to have. I understand why Snick making this move. Fortunately, I understand because we need as much relief help as possible to close these Dodgers out.
Okay.
Sure.
I'm sorry. This is my last update. Colorado almost scored another touchdown. The boy dropped the ball in the end zone. They
Oh
almost scored
wow.
another
What
touchdown.
score? 7-0 or 14-0?
They driving on. They're on the TCU 35 to 7-0 Colorado.
Yeah,
Okay.
Colorado
All right.
balling.
All right, gentlemen. Let's get our 5 for 5 segment in real quickly. This is the segment where each panelist, which would be Coach, Red, and Armani, will have 1 minute to speak their piece on a particular topic. 45 seconds single screen, 15 seconds on the group screen, and once that minute is up, then they get muted. We get on to the next person. While they're making their comments, Reverend Nation, feel free to put your comments in the chat. We'll come to your comments right after we do 1 minute with each panelist, and then whatever time is left, if I have anything to add, I'll add on. All right, so we'll start with Coach. Coach, real quickly. Here it is, Coach. Our first topic is undisputed. Is it good or bad? And if we know the VP were here, he would say
Oh,
cue units before we get started. So let me make sure I'm doing things with 5 with decency and in order. The music has been queued up.
I know where
The
Coach
timer
going
is
now.
ready. Coach, in 3, 2, 1, and go, Coach.
Undisputed opened up debut the other day, and it was met with middling results. And they came out with the numbers. The numbers for Undisputed, they had 110,000 votes. I mean, people watching its first debut show. Unfortunately, First Take had 445,000. So right now, not a good start for Undisputed. I think they need to. Now with Keyshawn just there by itself, it kind of got better. But all that jumbling and talking, Skip not gonna sit that long and not let them talk over him. He's not gonna be able to do it. His ego ain't gonna let him do it. So they're gonna have to change that. So rocky start, but we'll see what happens.
Armani on the clock. Go.
So you got, Skip, who's pretty much he's like the mediator now, turning to the mediator. You got him, Richard Sherman, Keyshawn Johnson, and Michael Irvin. So I mean, it seems like him and Keyshawn got the best chemistry. So we might see more of that versus all three. But I mean, I believe it can turn into a good show. They just gotta learn their roles and allow each other to talk. not talk over each other. Just be a little bit more cleaner, a little bit more professional. But I think it's going to be good. I say give it about when football season gets wrapped up and basketball season gets wrapped up. Give them, give them some time. I think they'll figure it out.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm with y'all, Money. Like I say, it's early. Like I say, it just started. Everybody trying to figure out the roles for the show. And it started off with everybody on the show at the same time. Later on in the week, you saw more just break off to mainly Keyshawn and Skip, with everybody coming on supporting opinions. So, and I think they added Josina, Rachel Nichols, Acho even made an appearance. So, like I say, I'm with y'all, Money. I think over time it'll clear up and it'll get a little better. Coach, I think it's unfair to look at the ratings right now because they just came back and First Take has been going continuously. Well, Undisputed just came back. So, like I said, let's let the football season ramp up, basketball season ramp up, and we'll look at the numbers again. But I think it's gonna be a good show. I think that everybody will figure out their roles and eventually be just as good as it was before. Maybe not as good as Shannon Sharp and Skip, but solid enough.
Does this
All right, here, hold on, coach. Hold on, man. Hold on.
sorry?
They shut Skip up, so it's a win for me. The new Undisputed is awful. They should just rename it the Ego Show. Skip ain't gonna talk crazy to Key like he did Shannon. I don't like Keyshawn Johnson as a commentator. All right, go ahead, coach.
Is this Acho that's on there? Does he smile as much as his brother?
No.
Okay, with all them 25, with all them 75 teeth and gum showing.
But what the Acho on Fox FS1 is very knowledgeable. Actually, that Acho could have been Skip's counterpart, to be honest, because he's that knowledgeable. Had they taken him off Speak would have gone out of business. So that's probably why they kept him on. But I will say
You're
to this,
lying, real. Nobody listening to
I,
Joy and the
yeah,
running back.
and LaShawn McCoy, yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
of course.
I would say, Coach, if we're fair to this version of Undisputed, Shannon being on Undisputed was still less than 200,000 as well. So it wasn't much of a difference. I mean, it was like 70,000 viewers difference. So, we have to give it a shot. I know on Mondays and Tuesdays, I'll be watching First Take with Shannon and Stephen A.
That's gonna be
But
good.
I do believe that Undisputed, once they work out the kinks, they'll be a good show to watch all week long. They just can't have. I think Richard Sherman is only on for 50 to 100 shows per year, so he won't be on every day. And I think the playmaker Michael Irvin will only be on for a couple of days. But I'll be honest, I'll probably watch Undisputed Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday because or maybe Mad Dog comes on Wednesday with Stephen A. Mad Dog is a bad boy, so I may be watching First Take Monday to Wednesday and Thursday and Friday be Undisputed. But we'll see.
I think
Keith,
it's gonna be Skip and Keyshawn for the most part.
yeah, they probably need to make it that way. When Shannon makes his debut on First Take, it's over for Undisputed, and would have gotten better sports talk from Stephen Hawking. All right. On to
Man,
the
they
next
don't see
subject,
Poor
boy.
Booker, man. They don't put Poor Booker like in the mail department. Man, he used to be remember they had the Booger Mobile rail on Monday
Yeah,
Night
yeah.
Football.
I think Booger's appearance is hindering his career. I think that's his biggest problem. Yeah. All right, here we go on to the next topic. Noam Lyles comments about world champions, saying that in America you can't really declare world champions when most of the sports are not winning against the world. So we'll see what somebody has to say about that. Red, let's just start with you. What you got?
Uh, well, give it to Noah Lyles to get all these NBA players riled up. Uh, he make a good point, but at the same time, it's tradition. We've been naming all the world. We've been naming the champions of the United States world champions for years because technically, Laos, when we are when we are playing our championships, the world is watching Super Bowl, World Series, NBA Finals. Whole world watching it when it's happening. Now I understand your point, meaning when you doing your races, you fighting for country. I get that. But like I said, I understand both points. I think Noah was just trying to rile up the NBA players, even though he made a good point. But uh, I understand both terms. I understand when we win and we can be called world champions. I understand that he's running for country, so they're fighting for all around the world. So it can be taken both ways, but he definitely riled.
Armani, what you got?
Um, I understand what he's saying, but like Red said, let's be honest. I mean, he doing this to take shots at the NBA because we know that a lot of countries don't even play. They don't play football like we do. They play football, but they don't play football. Um, when it comes to football, basketball, and baseball, ain't nobody doing it better than the USA. I mean, especially with basketball, we going for that gold medal every time. So I get the sentiments, but you got to be more realistic in what you're saying.
Coach, what you got?
Noah Lyles is right now the reigning fastest man in the world by winning those races, the 100, the 200, and the 4x100. That's all I got to say.
All right. Thank you, Coach, for those comments. All right, let's see what the Red Knight Nation, no pun intended, but Noah stepped out of his lane and needs to leave this one alone. The president says, you think they worried about Noah Lyles as they check the bank accounts. Maurice Thor says, Noah Lyles needs to sit down and shut up. He'll get his NBA wake-up call this season if he goes to a game and when they go to Paris next summer. All right, I have no comment. Let's move on to the next topic. The USA Open is going on, and Venus Williams is done before making any real progress in the U.S. Open. Armani, is she done?
Nah, you can't never just count Venus out, man. She's one of the best, if not the best, to ever do it. So I'm not going. You can't just say that she's done. Maybe she's going through a slow start, whatever it may be, rough patch. But just to say she's done, nah, I don't believe that, and I'm not gonna fall for it.
Coach, is Venus done?
Armani, she's about as done as a pie that's been in the oven too long. She's finished. The way she looked in that first match, it was terrible. When she could only muster two wins in 2 sets, and the way that young lady dispatched her, and she was hitting balls up in the air and everything and out of bounds, she looked nothing like the Venus that won 7 U.S. Open titles. Nothing like it. Her career needs to stop right now, and she needs to retire gracefully, like her sister, and just get ready to be elected to the Tennis Hall of Fame.
Red, is Venus done?
Get your mic, Rev. Yeah. Okay.
We got to go.
Done. Done like baked pork chops at Sunday dinner. She is done, and I'm ready to eat because I'm hungry. Venus, you are done. Okay, if your sister done, you done. And she was greater than you. You were great, but she was greater than you, and she done. So I know you done, okay? Venus, you are treating tennis like it's some dang on hobby you do on the weekend now. And sweetie, you think you gonna compete with the world, the best in the world, and this just a hobby to you now? No, Venus, you have made enough money. You are a beautiful young black woman. You are an established person. Do us all a favor and stop embarrassing yourself, okay? It is over with. Retire. Go get you start your little fashion business. Go get you a boyfriend and whatever you want to do, Venus. You have the options, baby, because you got money, you got fame, and you got time. But please stop wasting time playing tennis.
All right, let's see what Red Knight Nation has to say. She's becoming Evander Holyfield. It's time to let it go. Venus is done as far as winning. All the time is undefeated. I think Venus is done. She needs to retire and get a niece ready for future tennis championships.
Right.
Venus is done. All right, Amani, I'm going to come back to you real quickly. She hasn't won a championship since 2016. Is she done?
Okay. So
Is she done?
So in other words, she is getting the the Tiger Woods effect. Like
Well, not to the same degree, because the Tiger Woods effect is the purses get bigger when Tiger comes on the scene.
that's true.
She's not making the purses get bigger because she's playing and getting bounced out of the first round. So
Okay.
that's where the comparison would not really gel.
Okay.
But she's just a sentimental favorite, you know, and I think she knows she can at least get a check by showing up because her name still has star power, but the star has left her game.
Gotcha.
All
Okay.
right, yeah.
That's fair.
All right. Let's move on. Move on to the next one.
Let's be real. Venus is showing up to pay her penthouse rent right now.
Yeah, she's a paycheck player now for
Yeah.
sure. She's a paycheck player. All right, the ACC makes a big move on yesterday. They bring in three schools: Stanford, Cal, and SMU. What are your thoughts about this particular move? We'll start with you, Coach. What you got?
This is one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen in my life. How are you gonna justify? And I hate to use this sport, volleyball from California going way to ACC country to play a game. You got to pay for that. And to be honest, SMU joining the conference, SMU will only be used as a stopover at the Fort Worth airport when somebody comes from ACC country to have to go to California. They're gonna stop in Fort Worth, then they're gonna go to California. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Red, what you got?
I'm with Coach. Ridiculous. Nothing but money. Like Thomas said, all crap conference, man. This is Stanford and Cal have no business in the ACC, and that's just the bottom line. Okay, you're a West Coast team. You belong in the Pac-12 or some conference on that side of the country. Hey, what are you doing in the ACC? It's not gonna help you win. You're not gonna win anything. You're still gonna be the same teams that lose when you lose. Okay, so it's not gonna help you. It's just a cash move for money. Okay, nothing about the kids, nothing about the program, nothing but money, and you still gonna be a crap team that don't belong in the ACC. You ain't gonna do anything. You're sorry now. You're gonna be sorry then. Just stay in the Pac-12. God, what schools moving for ain't helping them at all. They not gonna win anything by moving.
Armani, what you got?
I mean, you got teams in the ACC that ain't winning nothing now. Virginia ain't winning nothing. We know
Right.
Georgia Tech ain't winning nothing. You know, all those other schools, they not Maryland. I mean, they not winning nothing. So, I mean, hey, Adam, I guess, you know, for money purposes and but we all know the ACC is between Clemson and Florida State. Pittsburgh coming in every now and again and trying to make some noise, but we all know Clemson is running the ACC right now.
Now, there's no real other comments besides the ACC all crap conference. Can we put things in perspective, gentlemen? We have to blame coaches USC and UCLA for why these moves were made with the ACC. Because coaches' school, along with UCLA, decided to go to the Big Ten, along with Oregon, along with Washington. So that started the fiasco. So Stanford, Cal, and Cal needed a home because they can't have a conference with the Pac-2. Because remember, Colorado left for the Big 12, Arizona State left for the Pac-12 as well. So they had no choice. And the ACC is looking towards their own survival because Florida State is already making noise that they want to leave. Clemson may be on the way out as well. So they're just trying to stack the deck to be straight just in case some other schools leave. So that was a survival move, not a geographic move, but a survival move because they don't want to be in the same situation as the Pac-12.
Yeah, it's simple, but I mean, what other reason would you think that a school would go way out there? I mean, you look at the sport, like I said, the sports that got to go there. You gonna pay that much money for a volleyball team to go that far? That non-revenue stuff.
But
Uh,
Coach, do you feel the same way about USC and UCLA having to go to Rutgers?
I think that's ridiculous too. I don't know why.
Okay,
I'm trying to figure out why the Pac-12. First of all, the Pac-12 didn't do enough on the TV side to keep the Pac-12 up. There was a proposal thrown at them, and they kind of dismissed it.
that, that's why Maurice Thor was on point where he said he blames the president of the Pac-12 because the president of the Pac-12 is a laughing stock of football because he had a bad TV deal for the Pac-12, and that's why the Pac-12 is about to dissolve.
And that's it. It was just terrible when they first started it. Like just like you said, how are you gonna justify your tennis team going away from like you said Rutgers to play in Southern California? Your tennis team, which is pretty much not a big revenue sport. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well, they need to get the Pac-12 commissioner on 30 for 30 and get him
Well,
and reveal everything. Just go over everything.
well, last comment on this topic because the 5 minutes is about up, but we can stop the charade that it's all about student athletes because they don't care about their studies. These moves are clear because you ain't caring about kids' studies when
No.
you got them traveling all across the country for conference games. So
Yeah.
let's stop the charade that it's about student athletes.
Yeah.
Last comment on this, Red. Go.
No, I wasn't thinking about this particular topic. I was thinking about the documentary I saw this week. Coach, I'm not sure if you saw this documentary, and Rev, you do need to see it. Armani, you too. BS High. Don't know what I'm talking about?
Oh, the
Mhm.
Bishop.
Bishop Sycamore. Bishop
Oh,
Sycamore.
oh God, that train wreck. Oh my God, all of them should be arrested.
Boy, that guy, Roy Johnson, is this dude literally insane? What is wrong with him? Does he have a mental problem?
He should be arrested.
Oh my God, this guy is. Rev, if you ain't saw this documentary, you need to check it out. It's on HBO Max. BS High. About the whole Bishop Sycamore controversy.
Okay. I will definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Last topic,
honestly, if
Jim.
I had been thinking, that should have been my cope. I wasn't thinking about it at the time. That should have been my cope right there. I don't know why I didn't write it down when I was watching it this week.
Okay. All right. Let's get on to the last topic. We're dealing with boxing right now. Here we go. Here we go. Can we get there? Spencer Crawford rematch. Yes or no? Amani, what are your thoughts?
Nah, man. No, not the way you got beat. I don't think so. I don't think so, man. Nah, man. You got outclassed, outboxed. You got beat. Man, it should not be a rematch for these two. It'll be a waste of time. It's gonna be the same thing. He might go back and tweak a little bit, but same outcome. No, absolutely not. And if you did want to rematch you, they need to do like a year and a half, maybe year rematch clause. Because I mean, just to go back and when is it? This is supposed to be in November time frame? No, I don't think so. Not that soon anyway.
Coach, what's your thoughts?
I go one thing Armani said, and it's true. I would say it should be one, but it shouldn't be in December. I say next year sometime, next July or somewhere in there. But in December, that's too early because you're looking at what Spence went through in that fight, and then he was already dealing with some, like they said, some car accident issues. And then you went and got into another car accident in that ring when you got beat up by Crawford. No, don't do that this year because it's not going to be pretty. And we could have something more serious happen if we do it this year. Next year, like I said, give him time off, maybe next July, August. Then we can do it again.
All right.
I agree with Coach and all money. You know who Spence sounding like? You sounding like Dragonfly Jones. That little character that Martin played, that little, come in, talking all that mess, get beat down, big time, and get up and automatically want a rematch. No. You talked your trash, you got beat down. Now take it, accept it, and we'll think about you maybe next year. I got bigger things to think about right now. I already whooped you a few months ago. Now you want me to whoop you in December? Man, Spence, like Coaching on Money said, maybe next year, but for this year, no, buddy. I got bigger things on my mind. It should be a rematch, but not this soon. Spence got beat down, and we don't want to see another beat down this soon. Next year, we with it. This soon, this year, no way.
All right. Mari still says that man gonna look like Martin after this fight with Tom Hearns. All right. We'll see. Last comment from 5 to 5 goes back to the ACC. At least the ACC has raised their graduation rates by adding the other schools. All
That's
right,
true.
Stanford and Cal are great schools for sure for academics,
Yeah.
no doubt about it. All right, that concludes our 5 for 5. Real quick, thank you, gentlemen, for joining in with our 5 for 5 run. All right, let's get to our NFL preview. I got some questions that I want to raise before we make our choices between division winners and Super Bowl matchups and championships. Let's deal with this question real quickly. I want to see if Sister Dana's still around because I'm sure she would be interested in this first question I raised. We know that Jalen Hurts had a breakout season last year, and here's the question. Here's the question. Here's the question. Will Jalen Hurts repeat his performance from last year? Let's go fair or foul with these comments and tell us why. And we know that there's a middle ground for foul that somebody invented. I don't know, it may have been me. But nevertheless, is this fair or foul? Will Jalen Hurts repeat his performance from last year? Let's see. Coach, go with it.
I see Jalen Hurts has the new Hulu commercial. I hope that don't go to his head. Hulu instead of Jalen Hurts is Jalen Hulu loves live sports. I think he can. That
Is that
defense
fair
has
or foul?
improved.
Fair or foul? Fair or foul? Fair or foul?
Fair.
Fair. All right, go ahead. Now explain your answer.
Now I think he can because I don't see. I mean, barring injury, he got a pretty good ball club, and then he got decent running backs. He got his defense is gonna stay good, even though they lost Hargraves, but his defense is gonna be good, and he's gonna be good. So I think he can.
All right, Coach goes with you can. I'm asking Coach Lower your camera, please, sir.
Okay.
All right. Armani, fair or foul. Jalen Hurts repeats his performance from last year.
I think it's fair. I mean, Jalen Hurts has developed into a pretty decent passer since he, left college. They're going to play to his strengths, and then they have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. When you got weapons like that on the outside, where you really can't double anybody, and he has a good team around him. They built that team very good around Jalen Hurts, and he's going to definitely do what he did last year, and he might even do a little bit more. I do have faith that he will. He's going to be up there in the conversation of the top. He might be even in the conversation with the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL coming up this year. But he's got great weapons.
Red, what you got?
I think it's completely fair. Why? Because now you invested in him financially now. So you're going to need him to have some repeat performance from last year. Your team is not going to be too successful. Now, personally, do I think he can repeat it? He should be able to. I mean, the kid came a long way from his rookie season to his second year. Now he's going into this is his third year, right? Third or fourth year?
Third.
Third year as a starter.
Third. Okay, his third year. I mean, like I say, he should continue to progress, continue to take his coaching and take the coaching from when he's getting it and put it on the field. But like I say, the kid gets better each season. And I don't see that stopping because I know he's dedicated. I didn't know that much about him. I know a little bit now. I know he's dedicated. I know he's going to stay in the film room. I know he cares about his career. I know he wants to be a great QB. So you take all those intangibles that he has and then look at the team around him. No way the Eagles shouldn't be successful. Unless something is seriously going on behind the scenes that we're not aware of. Well, what we saw last season, no way the Eagles should not be successful with this kid leading the show. So it's a fair question because this was the first time we saw him do it last year. and you paid them, so now you invested in them financially. So that's why it's a fair question. But I believe he definitely will repeat the performance.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your comments on that one. Let's go to this next topic. This is for Armani and Red, especially, but Coach, we want you to chime in too. The Falcons will make the playoffs. Fair. We'll go with you, Armani.
I'm gonna say fair because Arthur Smith's job is dependent on it. So, and with the additions that we have made, I mean, we've got some talent on offense. You got Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and then you go in and add in a veteran, one of the best safeties in the league, in Jesse Bates, to show up the secondary right by AJ Terrell. Those two are best at their position in the league. And then you go add pass rushers like Calais Campbell. You go and add the D tackle from the Saints. And not only that, you added one of the best upcoming DCs, defensive coaches in the NFL. So, I mean, I'm going to say fair because, all of that and, hey, we need it, 5 straight losing seasons. If we don't make the playoffs, I don't think Arthur Smith is going to be here. So I'm going to say fair.
Red, fair fight.
Of course it's fair. I mean, like I say, it's a new tenure. They've been here 2 seasons with no playoffs. Now, of course, most fans will say they had many obstacles and hurdles to overcome, but those obstacles and hurdles are behind us now. This season, you have to make the playoffs or there should be some changes because giving Arthur Smith 5 years after what we've already seen, and even though he had lots of obstacles and hurdles, and folks, I don't know why people keep acting like 7-10 is something to be proud of. 7-10 is still losing. Okay, now I wish these delusional fans get that through your mind. Whether he went 7-10, 6-11, 5-12, the fact is it's still a losing season. Now, had he went 10-7. The past 2 seasons. Had he went 10-7 and missed the playoffs the last 2 seasons, you know what fans would be saying? You know what, Red? He had a winning season with all those obstacles and all those hurdles. The man still won. Okay, well, with all those obstacles and all those hurdles, the man still lost. Okay, so I expect the man to win this season, or I want the man gone. How about that? Good, fair.
You muted, Rev.
Do you share their fair assessment, Coach?
Nope, I say for Ralph for one reason. Offensively, I don't think the Falcons are worried because they got a heck of an offense. They got weapons galore. Bijan Robinson probably will be in the discussion for Rookie of the Year, without a doubt, because that boy is legit. I have to see what the defense is going to do. That's the secondary got improvements, but they got people hurting the secondary. Okuda I know he's gonna make a difference when he get healthy. I think the defense is gonna be what everybody looks at, but the way they looked in the preseason, the defense looked good. That's gonna be the key. That division, the only thing they have to worry about in that division to me is the Saints.
All right.
People, I mean, boy, I really hope Bijan and everything folks say he is, because, man, I ain't never seen so much hype for a player we ain't seen do one thing yet.
Yeah, they seem to love Bijan.
I'm saying, I mean, he seems talented, but we just can't guarantee stuff till we see it. And then especially with the Falcons, with all the disappointments we don't had through the years with the Falcons, folks are so quick to anoint and guarantee stuff, and I just don't get it. Like, how many times do you guys have to be disappointed for y'all to realize you can't count on anything until you see it? Stop saying what you know something gonna happen. You don't know anything. With the Atlanta Falcons, you don't know nothing.
Especially coming from a team that has 5 straight losing seasons.
What'd you say?
Especially from a team that's coming off 5 straight losing seasons.
Yeah. Oh, all this. Oh, I know we gonna do this. I know the defense gonna do. I know what Bijan. I know you don't know nothing. You don't know. Okay, and you ain't gonna know nothing until you see it on the field. So please, Falcon fans, take a chill pill with all these emotional declarations, with all this, yeah, I know we about to do this. I know we about to do that. You don't know a thing except for the Falcons is your team, and it's a possibility they might choke. That's the only thing you know from past experiences. You don't miss the playoffs 5 straight years, and you got moronic fans sitting up here talking about what they know about this guy and that guy. You don't know a thing. So shut up and just wait and see.
Fashion.
All right, Coach. Here it is, man. And I might need you to take over in a minute. Uh,
Uh-oh.
the Steelers will
Red, put
win
your
their
KC
division.
and Detroit pick in before you leave.
Well, let's wait till Thursday to pick it because we don't know what kind of injuries might take place in practice.
Oh, okay. This is a good point.
The Steelers will win their division. Coach, fair foul.
Ooh. Ugh. Corral.
Being safe.
This is just Kenny Pickett's second year, and I'm not just gonna say anoint him just to be that guy that can take over like that after a good preseason. People say preseason don't mean anything. It means something. It helps you get better. But Joe Burrow is back at practice, and I saw that. Will he be the same Joe Burrow? I don't know. Will he have that calf button nag him all year? I don't know. I'm not gonna give him the division. I'm gonna give him the playoffs. If you ask about playoffs, I'm gonna say yes. Division,
All right.
no.
All right. Monty, you got a bone in this race since your dad is a Steelers fan. Will they win their division?
No, not this year. Not this
So
year.
that's a foul statement. That's a
That's
foul
a foul
statement.
statement, and here's why. If Joe Burrow looks anything like Joe Burrow, they're gonna be elite. And then Lamar Jackson, you done gave this man some weapons to work with. He got Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, and he might have a healthy Odell Beckham Jr. And they always have a decent defense. Ravens or the Bengals gonna win that division. I don't know which one, but it ain't gonna be the Steelers. Sorry, Daddy. Hey, not this year.
Armani, who the Ravens running back?
Is it
Jamie Dobbins.
Is it Gus? What's his name?
Dobbins. They got Dobbins.
I
And
thought he
Gus.
was having a contract dispute,
No, Dobbins is back. He got from injury. He was at Ohio State.
injury or something. Okay,
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, he's
wondered.
back.
Okay,
He's
he's
back.
back. Okay, because
They
Dobbins.
got a little speedy running back that made the team. He was undrafted, but he played at I think Eastern Carolina.
Yeah, they
He's a threat.
signed Melvin Gordon, then they cut him.
Yeah, because of that little kid, the little young guy,
Mhm.
who actually is from Georgia. I can't remember his name, but his mother's one of my Facebook friends, and he was one of the reasons why they cut Melvin Gordon. All right, Red, fair foul. The Steelers win that division.
Foul. They're not gonna win the division. They may make the playoffs though.
Okay.
I mean, okay,
Simple enough.
I give you a little more. I'm with our money. The Ravens and Cincy, they the favorites for that division. I don't see Pittsburgh overleaping them. You gotta think Pittsburgh got the worst quarterback in the division. Not saying he's sorry, but when you look at Watson and Burrow and Lamar Jackson, you got to take them before you take Pickett. So with Pickett being the least experienced quarterback, I say that the least experienced quarterback in the division. Yeah, it's foul to say Pittsburgh's gonna win the division. Now, could they make a playoff run and probably compete for one of the wild cards? Sure. I mean, it's Pittsburgh. They can always have a good defense. They can always have great coaching. And Pickett is solid. So anything go wrong with one of the other teams, and Pittsburgh to be right there to sneak in. So, like I say, it's foul to think they're gonna win the division. But as long as they stay afloat, stay in the middle of things in the AFC, anything go wrong with one of them other teams, they'll be right there to sneak in the back door.
And
So you like Coach? It's fair, foul that they win the division. Fair that they'll probably make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's fair that they'll be in playoff contention.
Rev,
Because the AFC is going to be so many teams in playoff contention, and they're one of them. I don't think they're one of the sorry teams in the AFC. I just think they're a team that's in a tough division.
Tough division, no doubt.
do
All
you
right,
think?
Coach. Last
Do you
comment.
think if the Browns struggle, that Watson struggles, the Browns are gonna keep him in to massage his ego?
They got to keep him in to massage that contract that they signed.
Yeah, yeah.
The dumbest
You-
contract in sports history.
Yeah, they gave him all that guaranteed money, so they gonna massage
I
that
was say
money.
there's no way you can get out of that in a few years, can you?
Nope.
No,
Yeah,
no,
all
all that
that
money's
yeah.
guaranteed.
So
They
he the
still got
starter no
Nick
matter what,
Chubb
coach.
and Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, for sure. All right, gentlemen. I'm interested in hearing your comments on this one. Is this fair or foul? The Chiefs will repeat.
I'll go. If I was a bet man, I'm gonna say that's a fair statement. You got the best quarterback in the NFL. He might be becoming the best. Well, I ain't gonna put him in Tom Brady category yet, but if he get 3, we're gonna have to have that conversation.
What a difference a year makes.
Uh-oh.
What a difference a year
Yeah.
makes.
He proved.
Somebody
Hey, you know
been
what?
delivered.
Hey, he proved me wrong. Hey, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? He proved me wrong. That's cool.
So is
I was
Russ
wrong.
still up there with him? Russ still up there with him?
No. Russ might be retired. Russ probably, if Russ don't get it together, Sean Payton gonna get hit in the boot and he gonna be retiring getting traded.
So you ain't supporting your twin brother this year?
Yeah, twin brother.
Now I'm a support him, but Russ got too much outside stuff going on. He need to focus on football. He got too much going on.
All right, man. Fair or foul, Red. The Chiefs will repeat.
It's fair. It's definitely fair. I mean, like I say, Pat Mahomes, he ain't getting no worse, and it's getting to the point now. It don't matter what receivers you put around him. You take Tyreek Hill away, still win the Super Bowl. Bring in Juju Schuster, still win the Super Bowl.
They won the Super Bowl.
I mean, like I say, whatever receivers you got around them, as long as that boy Kelsey and Andy Reid are there, this team is a contention. And that's why I was laughing at Armani making that Chris Jones defensive tackle reference back when we were doing our dope notes with Coach, acting like he's some type of important piece. Man, I don't care. I bet Mahomes said, I don't care if Chris Jones come or don't come, as long as Mahomes, Kelsey, and Reed there, they are in contention no matter how long Chris Jones hold out. He can come to camp or don't come to camp. Somebody else will step up on that defense. Somebody else that'll want to get paid. Somebody else that know, hey, I got a golden ticket here with this quarterback kid, so I'm going to make some plays on defense just so I can be a part of this dynasty for years to come. I'm sorry, the Chiefs are turning into the Patriots. I mean, they don't, as long as that kid is there. Real, what's the number again? 10?
15.
15, okay. As long as 15 is there, Chiefs are a contender, baby. And yeah, it would be. I can definitely see them repeating this year because everybody keep talking about they want to see them get a back-to-back. Well, this would be the year to do it. Go ahead and get it out the way. And so then next year we can be tired of you. We can start hating again. But it's nothing to hate on Mahomes right now. The kid is true. He's the best quarterback in the NFL. And if he's the quarterback for the Chiefs, you better believe they got a chance to repeat.
Speak good, fellas. Y'all speaking real good. I'm loving what I'm hearing. Coach, don't you dare throw any ointment, a fly in this ointment, man.
Rev, I'm gonna go fair with this much for foul in it, and it's because I think teams are scheming to play the Chiefs, and nobody else. A lot of them are, and I don't know. Sometimes I just don't trust the Chiefs' defense. The secondary is has a bit of a question mark. I don't trust the defense, even though the Chiefs can outscore anybody look like in the country. But I think teams are playing to beat the Chiefs, and they're not scheming on anybody else. I know the whole AFC is trying to do that. So fair with the think this much right there for
That's why
foul.
I said what I said about the D line. The secondary already shaking. They got to make sure that they can shore up the D line so you can get the pass rush going. I'm not saying that they can't do it without him, but he is a pivotal piece on the defensive line. I mean, is he not? So that's why I said what I said.
He is,
Yeah,
but you got
I
that bad
mean,
man as quarterback.
I agree. You know, y'all got
That's
the.
the neutralize.
I mean, but you got to
As long, no, I totally agree with your assessment. I think the thing is, as long as Pat Mahomes has an offensive line that keeps him upright, and as long as he got one good foot, the Chiefs got a chance
Oh, absolutely.
to
Yeah.
win the Super Bowl, and that's just the biggest difference. Let me say, Maurice Thor, it's fair, Rev. I hope you have invested in Chief jersey already. You know what? I'm gonna just show you how much my investments are. I'm gonna wear a Chiefs jersey every week for the rest of this month, just to show you 15 is on my mind.
man, I gotta find out what play I'm gonna represent for the Falcons. I don't have a quarterback I can represent like that. I guess I gotta get
You got
London,
you got
Drake
you
London.
got that Ritter guy. You got that Ritter guy.
Who?
Yeah.
Who?
Matt Ryan Light.
Oh Lord.
Real, I don't know
God.
anything about Ritter yet. I can't endorse Ritter until I
He
seen
a
him on the
question
field.
mark. He lives up to his nickname, the Riddler, because we don't know.
Well, Red, you gotta go. You gotta have some optimism. You were telling the faithful y'all need to draft no quarterback. You gotta give the kid a chance. Have enough
Hmm.
games to show. I mean,
Hmm.
you gotta ride with him now.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
thought. We don't need to draft no first round quarterback. We don't need to. Hey, we're good.
We are
He
good.
hadn't had a chance to show what he could do. That's
Oh,
what
hold
Red
on.
told me.
I'm not changing my opinion. We still are, we don't know if we good, but Ritter deserves this chance, and we gonna see if he lives up to it. And if he don't, I'm gonna dog it out. So we'll see. But he
All right,
definitely deserves a chance. Like I told you, he was gonna get Armani.
All
he
right.
And
got
I
his
don't know
chance.
why
All
everybody's
right,
wasting time with Lamar this and all. I told you Ritter was the guy going into this season. I
All
ain't saying
right.
nothing
Well,
about next year. I said going into this season, Ritter was the guy.
hopefully Ritter being the guy won't get Arthur Smith not being the guy head coach. So
Oh,
okay.
I ain't no hopefully on that. I don't care about what happened to Arthur Smith. If it get him fired, get him fired. And that is the last thing I'm worried about. I could care less if Arthur Smith get fired or not. So hey, if he get fired, he would have deserved it.
all right, gentlemen, jump into the division one. That's for the AFC and NFC. Let's go real quickly. AFC East. Who you got, Coach? Just tell us
Woo!
who and one sentence why.
Uh I'm gonna go with the Bills. Because I think that they keep getting that chip on their shoulder. And this is the year they finally put everybody hyping the Jets. Though I ain't sold on the Jets.
All
I'm
right, Coach.
still
That's your one sentence. That's your
okay,
one
I'm
sentence.
sorry.
All right, Armani, go with it. Who wins the AFC East?
I'm gonna say the Jets.
Any sentence why?
A-Rod. A-Rod's a bad man. He ain't gonna give up on it. I think A-Rod gonna get one more before he retire.
All right, Red, jump in there. Who wins the AFC East?
I say the Jets, because they've given up, traded so much to win it. It would be a shame if they don't at least win the division and get to being a wild card team after all. That would be too disappointing.
Armani, who wins the AFC North? We talked a little bit about it. Pitt, Cleveland, Baltimore, Cincinnati.
I'm gonna go. Hate to make this pick. I'm gonna go Baltimore. I'm gonna say Baltimore.
Because one sentence.
Believe it or not, I'm a Todd Monken.
Todd Monken, the offensive coordinator coming from Georgia. Okay. Red, who you got? AFC North.
I'm with Baltimore. One sentence. Lamar Jackson motivated.
Coach, who's winning the AFC North? You can't say Pittsburgh because you already said it was foul.
No. Cincinnati, because Pittsburgh is a year away.
Okay, so that means Joe Burrow foul.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the AFC. Jacksonville, Tennessee, Houston, or Indianapolis. Who you got red?
It's easy. Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence. Next.
All right, Coach, do you share red sentiment?
Yeah, Jacksonville, because everybody else is so hopelessly inferior.
Armani, do you make it a Jacksonville sweep?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Jacksonville because I don't know what we're getting into Anthony Richardson, and Jonathan Taylor is not happy at all. So I'm gonna say Jacksonville, and they got Calvin Ridley. We gonna need him to do good. So yeah,
All right, on to the next
You've been thinking about
division.
the draft
AFC
pick,
West.
Coach.
I know, I'm messing with him.
All right, on to the next division. AFC West, KC, LA Chargers, Las Vegas Raiders, Denver Broncos. Who
Oh,
you got,
gosh.
Coach?
Oh, gosh. Kansas City, because the rest of them going to be fighting each other for last place.
Armani, Chiefs, and why?
Chiefs because for the obvious reason. For the obvious reason, Mahomes, and that what we just talked about is why they're gonna win because my brother on his last leg, man, it's about over.
Red, you making the Chiefs sweep?
Sierra.
Chief Dynasty. Next.
Next, all right, we're gonna move to the NFC. Let's start with the NFC West. Who you got? Do you got the 49ers, San Fran, the Rams, or the Arizona Cardinals?
Oh, God.
Let's start with you, Amani. Who you got?
They didn't got Hargraves this offseason. I'm gonna go with San Fran because that defense is for sure. So I'm gonna go with San Fran now. I don't know about the play. Y'all know how I felt about Shanahan. So
All right, that's it. One sentence. There we go. All right, Red. Who you got? Division winner.
The Seattle.
NFC West.
The
Seattle.
Geno Smith
Okay.
progressing.
Wow. That must be a Kyle Shanahan hate pick right there.
Well, not really. Shanahan is Shanahan, but I like the Geno rebounded his career last year. And in Seattle, they still are coached well. Pete Carroll's gonna always be building that defense up. Geno was pretty solid on the offensive side. He still got his weapons. DJ Metcalf and Lockett, I think. They still got
and
that
in
young
Jigba.
running. What'd you say?
In Jigba.
Yeah, and Jigba, and they still got that young running back. So hey, Seattle, don't sleep
Okay.
on them, baby.
Hoping
All
Jake
right, Coach.
comes from surgery.
Coach, NFC West.
San Francisco, because after week one they're gonna win it.
All right, let's move on to the next division. We got the NFC South. Who you got? New Orleans, Tampa Bay, Atlanta, or Carolina? We'll start with Armani. No, I'm sorry. Red.
Falcons, because it better be. That's my
That's
sentence.
funny.
It better be.
It better be. Okay. Coach.
Falcons, because you look at the other three quarterbacks and I see nothing impressive about any of them.
Thank you,
Armani.
Coach. That's what I was telling folks.
Yeah, quarterbacks. Anyway, I'm gonna say us, but it ain't gonna be because of Ritter. But I'm gonna say us because we got the better weapons on all. We seem to be more complete. We have only one question mark, and that is at that position.
All right, so y'all not giving Derek Carr a chance in New Orleans.
Nope.
Okay.
Oh, fuck it, man. I've been telling folks Carr trash in Oakland. He gonna be trash. No, I don't care what he doing in the preseason. I don't care if he start off hot. Derek Carr will eventually become Derek Carr. Just watch,
All right.
man. When I said this.
You said it. I'll be ready to regurgitate it. NFC North, Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota. Who you got, Coach?
Woo! Uh,
And this is the NFC North.
Minnesota.
Ooh, and why?
Jefferson is still good, and everybody's unfavored cousin can go find him. And then their defense is pretty solid. They've been stable all the time. So I say Minnesota.
All right. Armani, who you got? Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, Minnesota.
I'm gonna say Chicago. I'm gonna say
What?
I'm gonna say
Ooh.
Chicago. I think Fields is gonna have a breakout year. They done gave him some weapons on offense and defense. I think this is gonna be a big year for Fields. So I'm gonna say Chicago.
Oof.
Wow.
Oof.
Red. We got Minnesota on the board. We got Chicago, surprisingly, on the board. Do you have another team, or are you going with one of your co-hosts?
Wow.
Fortunately, I am gonna go with another team. Because man, you guys shocked me. I thought Coach was going Detroit. Money, I don't know where you pulled Chicago out your butt from, but okay.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna go with the bandwagon team then. I guess I'll go with Detroit then. Yeah, let's go Detroit. I wasn't, but I will now. Yeah, that's right. I'm going Detroit.
Jerry Goff.
One sentence why? Redemption.
Yeah, right.
Redemption. All right. I told the Detroit fans not to get depressed after Thursday. You know, they're gonna lose Thursday.
Right.
But don't get depressed. Keep the faith. You still got 16 games to play. So that was my parting message to them before I left last week. Do not get discouraged after what happens on Thursday. All right, last division, the NFC East. And Maurice Torres is giving us his picks. He goes with the Eagles, Vikings, Saints, 49ers. All right, now, Red,
Yes, sir.
who you got, man? NFC East.
Okay. Oh boy. Well, this is easy. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Don't have no faith in Dak and the Cowboys. They'll make a playoff run, but they're not better than the Eagles. The Redskins are being improved, but I just can't take them as division winners right now. And the Giants, huge question mark. They had a successful season last year, but a little turmoil in the offseason. Let's see if DeBoer can have a repeat performance with Jones and Saquon and that huge question mark on defense that they have. So with all that said, definitely. Oh, wait a minute, that's way more than one sentence.
Yeah, it was way more.
Eagles,
I'm
Rev.
glad you called it. I'm glad you
Yeah,
called it.
Eagles, Rev. Eagles.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the longest sentence in world history. Right. uh, Coach, who you got? NFCs.
I'm gonna go with the Cowboys until they start playing. Then I'm gonna say Eagles.
Oh, Lord. That's that Pittsburgh Steelers hate for the Cowboys right there.
No, it does that. Jerry Jones is keeping that team on the bottom, and they're not gonna
Yeah,
win until he's gone.
I
All
agree.
right,
But that stupid move he bought Trey in. Why would you bring Trey in?
That
Is that
wasn't
supposed to
stupid.
help Dak? I'm
That
saying
wasn't
you
stupid.
want Dak to win, but you keep doing stuff to undermine him, Jerry. I mean, I don't get it. If you want your quarterback
hold on,
to
hold
succeed,
on. Let's get him his pick, and then we'll come back to that discussion. Okay, well, save your pick first, Amani, and then you can lead into why you say it wasn't stupid.
I'm gonna say the Eagles. However, I'm gonna say that wasn't stupid because the same reason.
Oh, can you give us a sentence on why the Eagles will win the division
So the
before you
Eagles,
jump in there?
they the more complete team. They the more complete team. The D line is crazy good. Got all them studs from UGA. Then they got. I mean, you got the studs from Bama on offense. Got a
Not
man.
bad. You got studs from Bama on offense and the studs from Georgia on defense. Okay, all right. Now go attack Red since you wanted to attack him.
So this is the same reason why Matt Ryan ain't really getting no good because he ain't had no pressure behind him at quarterback. What Jerry Jones is doing is smart because he knows in his heart of heart, if I need to make a quarterback change and Dak ain't getting the job done, I'm gonna do it. he has pressure behind him. So you got the bad side. If he don't do good and he starts to fall off, I can put Lance in. But if he does, he's gonna get that satisfaction of I got somebody behind me, and I know that this kid is possibly could take my spot.
Now, Armani, if Dak is struggling and they do have to put Lance in, what exactly are you expecting from Lance at this point of his career?
I mean, he's not a terrible quarterback. He just his injuries bothered him. I mean, when he was at San Francisco, injuries bothered him, and that's why honestly Purdy got the start. So he's young, he got a strong arm, he's mobile, a lot more mobile than Dak. Let's be real. So I mean, you got the young kid behind you putting that pressure on you because Lance not gonna give up on his career. I'm gonna just say that. I don't agree with him getting the number 15, saying that he's gonna be Mahomes-esque. I'm not gonna go that far, but he got somebody putting that pressure behind. Dak got somebody putting that pressure behind him. So Dak, you want to be Mr. Pick Six and keep throwing turnovers? I got you, no problem. I'm gonna put the kid right behind you.
But
can I offer something? I see where Red is going. Like right now, I think Red is saying you can't throw Lance in there and think that the Cowboys are going to be a championship contender right now. I think that's what Red is saying.
No.
All right. Where I would agree
they're a
with
contender. Jerry expecting championship contending this year, Money.
Where I will agree with Armani to say it wasn't a bad trade, I think Jerry Jones is thinking negotiations. And I think he has the chip that he believes that will keep Dak to negotiate with honesty. So that if by chance Dak asks for too much money, we already got your replacement. So that's where I see the trade is beneficial because Dak, I think, is up for a new contract next year. And therefore, because Jerry Jones feels like he got punked this last deal with Dak. And he was not happy.
He didn't want to pay Dak.
He did not want to pay Dak that money. So I think he's saying, look, Dak, you got over me on the first one. But now you will not get over me on the second one because if push comes to shove, and if you push me to the edge, I got your replacement. So that's where I would agree with Armani. What you think about that?
I agree.
That's a good assessment. I mean, I agree with both of y'all that Jerry is looking out for himself in case things don't work out. That's a backup plan. And my point, Real, was just to your first point that you made. I'm just thinking of basically this year. It's like if you got to put Lance in this year, then you know the season is done. There's no way you're gonna put Lance in this year and expect championship aspirations as you have with Dak. Now I agree, Lance is the backup plan because Jerry will. If Dak is negotiation too rough, he'll say, "Okay, Dak, goodbye," and we're gonna go on and move on with Lance until I find somebody better. Now, but Jerry, you keep doing this now. You're getting older, Jerry. You can't keep changing quarterbacks and thinking you're going to have a instant Super Bowl now. But
the thing is, I'm going to cut you off, but the thing is, Dak's window, their window of opportunity is running out. Dak been there since 2016.
Yeah, you're right.
It's time. Hey, get on, Dak. You better get on with it.
Well, I think the Michael Parsons expanded it a little bit with that young defense they have. It expanded it a little bit because the window could have been closed already, but with that young defense that they have and that they're building, it's keeping it open somewhat. Because you got to remember now, think about it, Armani. Think about it. A few years ago, you had CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, and the third wide receiver. They were stacked on offense. Yeah, right. And now you're just down to CeeDee Lamb.
But no.
Here's on defense, though. Go ahead, Ray. I'm sorry.
But here's the problem with Dak. Here's the problem with Dak making all that money. You got to pay Parsons. You got to pay Diggs.
All right.
Yep.
And that's where the problem comes in with Dak making too much money. Because I'm not going to sacrifice showing Parsons and Diggs the money for a quarterback who has already proven he can't take us to the football promised land. Mm-hmm. So This is why
And you think Jerry
even
thinking
more
Lance could manage the game with those guys?
exactly because I can stay in games with a game manager at quarterback and a fire defense. I've already seen I can't win a championship with a guy who's making $40 million who chokes at the big moment. He cannot carry this team.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
So I think that's part of the reason why the move was made. All right. Mauricio said Cooper Rush just entered the chat. He showed how capable he was last year. Yeah, Cooper Rush can be serviceable backup, but he didn't win no Super Bowl. With Cooper Rush, they already showed that when it got tight, Cooper Rush couldn't do it. And then also, Cooper Rush is not the long term answer because he's expecting to get paid from somewhere, and the Dallas Cowboys ain't got the money to pay him, Dak, and Lance.
I mean, you look at
16,
Trey Lance. If he come into the game, it basically like y'all said, it's just like getting your Uncle Ray Ray to cater your wedding instead of somebody like a established chef. That's basically what it is. He
Uh,
just there to fill in and just try to get you to the end of the game, and that's it.
real. Those 16 seconds when Dak lost to the 49ers and ran, and they thought they had 16 seconds to come back. That's the image that Jerry have, and I don't think he gonna get it out of his mind until Dak either win a Super Bowl for him or he gone. Because that was awful. That not last year, but 2 years ago, when all the Dallas fans was sad and Stephen A. Smith clowned them all the time. They was in the fans just disappointed. That may have been the beginning of the end for Dak with Jerry right there.
for sure. For sure.
Because
All
Jerry
right.
was like, man, I paid this guy and that's how we end the season? Like that?
Yeah. Yeah. That was very disappointing. All right. Last on this NFL preview. Super Bowl matchup and who is the champion? All right.
Man, I'd be glad we get a quarterback.
Coach, I'm gonna start with you, man. Who's the AFC champ? Who's the NFC champ? Who wins the Super Bowl?
Oh, Lord. It's going to be the 49ers and Cancer.
And who he said 49ers and Kansas City. Who wins the Super Bowl?
Cancer.
Come on, man. Say it with some pride.
Kansas City, they weaponized San Francisco. If you had to put Brock Purdy up against Patrick Mahomes, that's like putting a Big Mac up against a filet mignon. You know what's going on.
Love the analogy, Coach. Love the pick. Armani, you've come from the dark side to the bright side. I'm very proud of you. Deliverance is available for making picks. You have shown that, and I'm thankful that Mahomes has baptized you into a clear football picking understanding. So I thank God for Patrick Mahomes anointing your head and your heart with knowledge. All right, so who's the Super Bowl matchup and champion, Armani?
I'm gonna say the Chiefs. I'm gonna say the Chiefs. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs and the Eagles part 2. But Mahomes will come up just short. I think the Eagles gonna run it back and get him back again. Not saying that Mahomes ain't that guy, but the Eagles gonna win. The Eagles will win part 2. No back. No back to back.
Dana need to come out of the shadows right now and say,
No back to back. So I'm gonna have to hear "Fly Eagles Fly" all year long. And if
Not from
that's
me.
what you're telling me.
No, not from me. I'm just predicting. I
ain't talking about from you. I'm talking about where I live.
Oh yeah.
The congregation knows.
Come on, Rev. You know where you at. You know where you at. Come on.
The congregation gonna love on him.
Where you at,
So,
Armani? In Marvin Harrison territory?
Nah, yeah, I mean, he
so,
almost
so
like
I,
an hour away from
I,
Philadelphia. Yeah.
I already know what to pray against. I appreciate you for making that. All right. Red, who's your Super Bowl matchup and champion?
Well, I got a part two, but not a part two like Armani. I'm gonna give it the first Mahomes Super Bowl part two. Chiefs and the 49ers. And this time, the 49ers aren't gonna figure it out. They're gonna get blasted again. They're gonna get blasted even worse than they got blasted before. So it's gonna be a repeat, and this is gonna be Kyle's last stand. Because after this blasting, old Jim York gonna say, "Man, dude, you just can't get over the hump. You can get there, but you can't get me. You can't get me, boy. I might have to start thinking about some changes right here. But so this game is gonna mean a lot to me because it's gonna be the beginning of the end for Kyle in San Francisco. So come on, Chiefs. I need you to repeat. The Chiefs are gonna repeat. I just can't see no team overtaking them right now. It's a lot of teams that have gotten better, but you got to prove to me that you can beat the Chiefs when it's time. And as of yet, I ain't seen but one guy prove to me that he can do it, and that guy is retired, okay? Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the NFL has beat this man when it was time to beat him. So why would I expect anybody to do it now? I got to see you do it. And since I ain't seen you do it, I ain't gonna predict you to do it. Chiefs win the Super Bowl, Mahomes get his back-to-back ring, and Brittany becomes even bigger pest than she is now.
What's the name?
Hold on, right quick, Coach. Let me try to see if I can persuade Armani off the Eagles right quick, just to give him something to consider. Something to consider. Now, I was going to ask Coach and Red why would they choose the 49ers over the Eagles, but then as I was allowing my football baptized imagination to sink in, I understand why. And this is something for you to think about, Armani. I'm trying. There's room at the football crossfeed. All right, here it is. The 49ers on paper have an easier route to get home field advantage than the Eagles.
After week one, Armani. Listen to that.
Look at their division versus the Eagles division. The Cardinals are already tanking. The Rams are young.
Terrible.
Geno is the second best quarterback in that division besides Matthew Stafford, who doesn't have any team around him. So it's much more likely for the 49ers to have home field advantage this year than the 49ers. And the Eagles struggled with the 49ers at home, and it took an injury for them to pull away. So the Cowboys are on par with the Eagles. Some will argue they're not better. The Commanders have made some progress. They split with the Eagles last year. Then the Giants are not any slums either. So the path will probably go through San Francisco rather than Philadelphia. Right. Do you think Philadelphia has enough to go to San Fran and beat San Fran in an NFC championship game?
I'm going to say yes, and here's why. I know, now, don't get me wrong. The San Francisco D-line is for sure, too. But, man, they added Jalen Carter. The Eagles D-line is good, too. So, I think with the Eagles D-line being what they are, and I think if Brock Purdy is the quarterback, I think the lights are going to get too bright. And seeming that Jalen Hurts has already been there before, I believe Jalen Hurts has enough to get past the 49ers. Not only that, don't get me wrong, I know that the 49ers have weapons on offense too. You got Debo, you got McCaffrey, and you got what's the tight end? Kittle. George Kittle. I understand that. I get it. But again, I just think that The Eagles' offense is going to put them over the top. Now, and I think Kyle Shanahan is going to have a moment where he's going to choke again. Just not in the Super Bowl, but it's going to happen in the championship game.
But Kyle Shanahan chokes against great quarterbacks. Okay, he choked as offensive coordinator with the Falcons. Tom Brady was the quarterback.
Right, correct.
He choked against the Chiefs when he took San Fran to that Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes was the quarterback. I'm not willing to put Jalen Hurts amongst those elite quarterbacks. I think sometimes Kyle Shanahan tries to do too much because he knows the quarterback on the other side.
Okay.
And that's why he does too much. I don't think Jalen Hurts is amongst that ilk. He's not Brady-esque.
Right.
He's not Mahomes.
Okay.
All right. So that's where the big difference, where I don't think Kyle Shanahan will overcoach in this particular situation, because I would refute your Brock Purdy statement, because it's not Brock Purdy that you need to concentrate. You need to concentrate on Kyle Shanahan calling the plays for Brock Purdy. Like, one thing you should know as a Falcons fan is that he knows how to coach despite the flaws of a quarterback.
I agree.
One thing you should know as a Falcons fan is that Kyle Shanahan made Matt Ryan's MVP season.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Man, Red, you should see all the people I was arguing with on the Falcons podcast last night. And I'm saying, dude, he held his hand. No Kyle Shanahan, no MVP. And Armani, John, you know, old man John, he even made the point that Matt Ryan went to a quarterback camp that Kyle Shanahan made him go through. His own quarterback camp. So, look, Red,
Okay.
You're right. Okay, Armani, Kyle is holding Brock Purdy's hand, okay? He's leading him to do these things. You take Kyle Shanahan out of Brock Purdy's life, and Brock Purdy is selling insurance. Okay.
He's out of the league. Exactly. He's out of the league. There's no way Mr. Irrelevant is on a football team without Kyle Shanahan.
Right.
And
Okay.
this
I mean,
ain't in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, think about it. Think about the 49ers went through 3 quarterbacks last year and still made it to the NFC Championship.
Game.
That's the system. That man,
That's the strength of Kyle Shanahan.
Quarterback becomes look like something. He had me at Armani. Kyle would have me looking like a good quarterback in there. Cause he had me doing whatever I could do. All right, Red. Now you can only do so much, and that's the only thing I'm gonna call for you. Whatever you can do the best, that's how we're gonna win games. Now I'm such a great offensive mind, I can win with any offense. That's how Kyle thinks. Any offense I can win with. Running, passing, RPO, battle, whatever it is, he feel like he can call the plays for it. So whatever scrub quarterback, like Red said, they lost 4 quarterbacks last year. 2-3 quarterbacks went down. Them guys still made the NFC Championship. How many teams would lose? If you lose 1 quarterback, some teams will be done. This team lost 3 and was this close to the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan's system is great, but you just choke it up in a big moment.
Okay.
And Kittle was hurt half the season. What's the guy you stole from me, coach, in fantasy football?
McCaffrey?
No, the other one.
The receiver?
Who could play?
Macaulay?
No, the one who could play running back and wide receiver.
Debo
Samuels. I mean, he was out half the season, and he still was balling. You got IU, you got Kittle, you got Debo, and then you got McCaffrey. Oh, my goodness. I mean, he got so many weapons. So, hold on to your Eagles. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. But I just don't see them winning it all.
I ain't gonna lie. Some of it has to do with me wanting Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith to do good. So I just want to put that in there too.
All right. Well, won't you leave with that? Won't you leave with that?
It's a little bit of reserve. It's a little bit of reserve in the chamber that wants me. It's not the whole reason, but it's a little bit of reserve for that. So yeah.
Now, Red, all the guys you named that Kyle have, the Falcons have similar players just like that, but the only difference is we don't have a Kyle Shanahan, and me,
Don't have a play
Armani,
caller.
don't think that Arthur Smith is no Kyle Shanahan, and that's why we still have question marks. If I knew we had an offensive coordinator that could take those pieces we have and do
Yeah.
the world with them, I'd be feeling way more confident right now than we had like a Mike Martin, and we had Eric Bieniemy. If we had Eric Bieniemy right now, if our offensive coordinator, I feel much better than Arthur Smith. But we gonna see Arthur because you got talent. If you got talent now, if you don't do nothing with it, we gonna know it's you.
All right, gentlemen, let's close out this show. We almost hit 3 hour mark. Let's close out the show. Who has the right to do what, when, where, and how? Red, you normally go first. Do you want to go first today?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and knock it off real quick. I got a two. No, first one is everybody, you have a right to watch BS High. I told McColl's about it, but everybody need to check out that documentary on HBO Max. It's called BS High about the Bishop Sycamore scandal, and you are going to just be enlightened and really enraged by it. But please check it out. Sports fans is a must. You have the right to check it out. And my UGA Bulldogs, you have a right to get this three-piece started on a high note today, baby. I want to beat the brakes off of UTA or whoever we playing, whatever, with them U schools we playing, whatever. Whoever showing up at the Bulldogs gonna get beat down. You see this foot, Armani? We're gonna put our foot in their butts, and that's what we're gonna do to your turds if y'all make the playoffs. So anyway, let's go, dogs.
All right. Armani, who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
I'm gonna say this. Georgia fans, y'all have the right to leave us alone and let us mind our business. Everywhere that I look on social media, y'all are worried about so much about what Alabama is doing. Focus on y'all. Let us worry about us. You don't hear us going around, oh, Georgia this, Georgia. We don't do that. Y'all not our rivals. We don't have that type of that relationship, fandom relationship with y'all. We worried about what we got to do, which leads me to my another. You have the right, Jalen Milroe. You got to start versus whoever we playing tonight. Some small school. Show me something. Show me something. Show me something. That's all I'm gonna say. Show me something.
How y'all don't pick a quarterback to the day before the game, man?
That doesn't sound like somebody who's real confident about their team.
Man, that boy
telling the starting quarterback at Alabama, show me something. Come on, man.
He built like a Sherman tank, though.
All right. Okay.
All right. Coach, who has the right to do what, when, where, and how?
Caleb Williams, you have the right to remain humble, or humble, as some people say. You said a couple of things after the game last week, kind of got me a little on edge a little bit. You have the right to remain humble and just do what you need to do to win, get to the national championship.
All right, now
close no windy commercials, man. You ain't gonna be too humble. Keep making no windy commercials.
And I'll close it out. Dion, you have the right to prove all of the sports football experts and pundits wrong, saying your team will only win 2.7 games the entire year, and you're already off to a good start competing against TCU. So keep motivating those kids. Keep showing the people you had your own path to greatness since you didn't take the traditional path, and just prove all your haters wrong and continue to allow your haters to be your motivators. That's all I got for you.
17-14. 17-14.
Right. Colorado is looking good.
Yep, 17-14 and a half.
Colorado.
Who's winning?
Yeah, Colorado.
No doubt about it. All right, gentlemen. Well, we have concluded episode 290 of the Red and Rev Sports Show. Thank y'all so much for hanging out. Some of Revenite Nation just chimed in and dipped out. So however long you stayed, we say thank you. We look forward to being back in front of you faces next week, 11 o'clock, showing our picks from this week. And then we got NFL picks coming next week. We're picking the entire slate of games the first 4 weeks of the season. So hang out with your boys next week for episode 291 of the
This
Red
is
and
where
Red
you
Podcast.
win. This is where you win, Armani. The first 4 weeks. Remember
Armani.
that.
Armani, start fasting and praying about your picks right now. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Peace and love, everybody. We're out of here. Peace.
He said fasting and praying.
Lord, I don't ask for much.